Tom Coughlin, the Giants head coach, talking about second half and struggles that they've had over the past few years in the second half of the season. The struggles are immediate tonight with injuries. Starting running back, Ahmad Bradshaw out. Mario Manningham, a scratch late this evening with a knee injury. Will Beatty, the left tackle, is out. And Michael Boley, the signal caller on defense, out for the second straight game. Time on the other side for New Orleans, we mentioned coming out of the bye week, as the coach gets healthy, Sean Payton on his crutches. His team is getting healthy. Chris Ivory's a healthy scratch because all their running backs are ready to go. And Jonathan Vilma, his signal caller on defense, missing tonight with his knee injury. Well, big news for the Saints after 11 consecutive games losing the toss 10 times at the start of the game and once in overtime. New Orleans won the coin toss tonight, and they'll receive and send that free agent acquisition Darren Sproles back deep for the kick. So the Giants, who are going to be called on to impact the game, that front four in their rush, get their shot at Drew Brees right out of the gate.
You're right on, Mike. When you have a prolific offense like Drew Brees and the Saints, it's all about getting hits on the quarterback and getting him out of his rhythm.
Lawrence Tynes set to kick it off. The crescendo rises at the Dome. Giants and the Saints, and off we go from New Orleans. And from 8 back, Sproles will take a knee, and the MVP is Super Bowl 44. Getting his 90th start as a Saint, Drew Brees takes over at the 20.
Well, the Saints do it all on offense, and Drew Brees is the conductor. The ball distribution is amazing. You'll see 9 to 10 different receivers tonight. I think they want to be more balanced. Look for Ingram and Sproles to carry it. The key to this game is, can the Saints protect Drew Brees? That'll be the storyline tonight.
Familiar name to Giants fans, Mark Ingram. Of course, this Mark Jr., the Heisman Trophy winner in 2009 out of Alabama. He's the back behind Brees, and they'll start with a fake to him. And on Brees' first pass, Lance Moore has a sideline grab for a half dozen. I mentioned Ingram. He's one of the 3 running backs you have in the mix with Pierre Thomas and Darren Sproles, who's second on the team in receptions. In terms of the pass catchers, Jimmy Graham having a great season. 62 grabs, leads the team with the 4 receivers. And up front, the guards. Strength of this line, Carl Nicks and Jari Evans, probably the best pair of guards in the NFL. And how will the ends do against the Giants' pressure? There's a run with Ingram, squirting up the middle for the first down. To the 33-yard line, where intro roll and Kenny Phillips tackle him. We mentioned the Giants' defensive front. No D-line has more sacks than this group. OC 7 sacks in 7 games. What's Justin Tuck going to give him tonight? Mentioned no Boley for the second straight game, so a lot of Mark Hertzlick, his second start, and Deion Grant's going to play a lot in nickel situations, and you'll also see the starting DBs, plus Principal Kamara, the rookie out of Nebraska, who had a pick last week. There you see Grant on the field as the Saints spread him out on first down. And a shot in the middle from Moore. Lance Moore into Giants territory with a first down and a gain of 20.
Well, the first thing that jumps out is Drew Brees had a comfortable pocket to throw from. The pressure did not get to him. Look at him just stare down that receiver. Beautiful delivery of the football. When you have no one around you, you can make that kind of throw. You'll see the route. Nice, settling the hole. Beautiful job by Lance Moore, settling into space.
Jaquan Williams, the linebackers of the Giants, have struggled with crossing routes the last 2 weeks. Now they struggle with Pierre Thomas. 16 yards for a first down to the 31.
Well, they have an excellent running game as well. That's the second big hit. Here you're going to see Collins come across the formation. Drew Brees is going to hand it to Pierre Thomas. That's as well blocked as it gets. Tempo's tremendous by the Saints. They're up and at him again.
No huddle. Brees looked for the shot downfield. It was covered. Moore's second option incomplete for Lance Moore.
This New Orleans Saints tempo is incredible. Look at the substitutions coming from the sideline. 3 come, 3 come out every snap. Sean Payton is up and at him right away after the ball is spotted. Watch these Saints after they touch the football, give it to the referee so they can spot it, set it, and get on with the game quicker.
And the Giants already having trouble with their communication.
Offside. That may be the best thing for the Giants, guys. I don't know if they had 11 or 10 on the field. Gene Steratore is our referee tonight. Giants did have 10.
Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, second down.
So by coming offside after the offensive lineman moved, thus the flag, that was a great break for the Giants because they only had 10 men on the field for that snap.
I think it's important the first 5 minutes of these games. On the road at the beginning of each half, you must set the tone. Right now, the Saints are taking it to the Giants. Giants need to make a play up front.
Second and 15, Breeze. And as he throws, incomplete. That's what John and Jaws have been talking about. Pressure. O.C. Umenyiora got there that time.
O.C. Umenyiora coming off the right side of the Giants defense. You'll see the pressure coming from the right side. Here's going to see it. There he comes. Get that baby going. Here comes the pressure. Breeze now senses it. The ball has to come out of his hand just a little bit prematurely. Pressure was the key.
Well, at the 36-yard line, it's his third down, and a field goal from here would be 53 yards. John Casey's the veteran kicker for New Orleans. So some yards on this play, even if they don't get the first down, will help. Breeze middle shot, caught. Jimmy Graham, the tight end. His 63rd catch gives New Orleans a first down in the red zone.
Well, that's a matchup Sean Payton will take all night. You get Jaquan Williams, a rookie 6th-round draft choice, one-on-one with Jimmy Graham with no help. It's stealing. Jimmy Graham chips on his way out to help in pass protection, and that's his 63rd reception. But look at him nudge O.C. Umenyiora to help the tackle in pass protection. There's no way a linebacker can cover that tight end one-on-one.
The Giants are having trouble getting lined up again. First down, Breeze. Shot to the end zone. One step away from a Lance Moore touchdown. The Giants struggle. A little bit of a fire drill to get the right people on the field. They know this New Orleans team rarely goes into slumps. They've scored in all but 3 quarters thus far this year. It ties the NFL record for the first 10 games of the season.
That is very impressive. That's putting points on the board consistently.
Darren Sproles almost 9 yards back as he comes to get the handoff. Hit by Dave Tollefson first, and lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So Sproles, we mentioned how prolific he is in the passing game with 60 receptions. Leads the team in rushing yards with 348 on his first 51 carries of the year.
Well, not only that, he's improved the Saints on third down. The Saints are converting 53% on third down, and Sproles is a big reason for that. And you can talk about all these stats in total yards, Ron, but when you convert all these third downs, that gives Drew Brees and this offense 3 more cracks at you. They've already converted a 3rd and 15. Let's see if they can crack a 3rd and 10 in the red zone.
Yeah, Sproles does have 21 third down receptions, John.
That is rare. Brees was changing the play at the line and lost track of the play clock, and it'll cost him 5.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, you look out there in that Giant defense, a lot of defensive backs. Look at Deion Grant, number 34, in front of his teammates, making all the communication happen. They've lost Michael Boley. They've lost Jonathan Goff. Grant has to make a lot of communication happen tonight for this Giant defense.
Goff been out all year. Boley missing his 2nd game with a hamstring injury. 3rd and 15. Screen it to Sproles. Giants rally to the ball. A flag down as he's down at the 15-yard line. Deion Grant lost his helmet and wants a flag for it.
The Saints are a very good screen team. One of the best in football.
If this is against the Saints, it looks like it is, guys. What do you do? Because it's 4th down and 7 at the 15. Do you push them back and give Brees another play?
Pass interference. Offense. Number 80. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
That's on the tight end, Jimmy Graham. That's an interesting call by Tom Coughlin to take the penalty and keep it a 3rd down.
It's a little pick screen right there. That's a good call. If you're 6'6", 265 pounds, the referees will see that. A key play right here for this offense to get Casey back in field position. Look for a high percentage completion or a draw play.
At the 33, 3rd and 25. Brees a deep drop. Throws complete. Lance Moore got him in much more comfortable field goal range. It'll be about a 37-yarder for the veteran Casey.
The Giants came with their 3-man rush, dropped 8 into coverage. Brees had time, but not enough time to get that ball deeper down the field and get the first down. But a nice safe throw by Drew Brees, hit the curl pattern, make it a chip shot field goal attempt.
How about John Casey? How good is this guy? He ended my career as a coach in Carolina. That's an amazing kicker.
Been in the league half his life. He's 42 years old. It's his 21st year. Here he is from 37. A fake, and the backup quarterback, Chase Daniel, throws to Jimmy Graham, makes a move in the flat, and he's very close to the first down. First down, they needed to get to the 8. The spot looks about a yard short, and it will be Giants ball. Jason Pierre-Paul pulling off the edge there, very aware to stay with the tight end Jimmy Graham and deny the Saints on the fake. So the long drive and no points for the Giants. New York ball. And now the crowd will try to support the defense after a terrific play by the Giants special teams denies the fake field goal. New Orleans native Eli Manning takes over at his own 10. Brandon Jacobs is his back. Can they get the running game going? Not here. Loss of 1. Humber made the tackle. Let's go back to that play. Many guys contribute. First, Prince Amukamara playing his second game. The first-round pick just got a piece of it to deflect it. Devin Thomas on special teams is out there on the coverage. And then Jason Pierre-Paul. What a play he makes.
Can't coach this. Watch the speed and effort. Devin Thomas misses a tackle. Say what you want, but it isn't for JPP. Whew. Great effort by the second-year pro.
Well, the Giants end that 11-play drive with the fake field goal denied. After the loss of 1, Eli, first throw, caught by Victor Cruz. And the Giants have their first down at the 21-yard line.
Already, Greg Williams is showing a 34 defense. I haven't seen him run this. And you're going to see Roman Harper blitz off the edge. Watch the blitz pickup right here by Brandon Jacobs, allowing Eli Manning to find Victor Cruz. A 3-down front by the Saints. 4 linebackers. That's something Greg Williams hasn't shown. Bye week helped the Saints put some things in and tune it up.
Remember what we told you. Mario Manningham scratched tonight, so Cruz gets the start. Eli drop, a deep toss for Cruz. Did he hang on? Yeah, sure. Nice play at the 40. A first down for Cruz and a gain of 19.
Well, the best time to throw the football's on first down, and Eli Manning off the play-action fake, snaps his head around. You see the fake to Jacobs in the backfield. Locate the receiver, got Cruz. That is a well-executed throw, throwing over the underneath coverage. Look at Cruz stick this route. Nice job of beating Jabari Greer in the underneath coverage and Roman Harper. Well-executed play by the Giants offense, and Eli Manning sharp early.
Jacobs to the right. Could not escape the tackle of Jonathan Casillas. And only a gain of a couple of yards. You know, we talk a lot about the Giants, their struggles. Eli Manning may be having his best season thus far through 10 games.
No question about it, Mike. If you've watched this Giant team throughout the season, they've struggled with injuries on the offense, but the constant has been Eli Manning. There's been continuity and consistency. He's rallied his team 5 times in the fourth quarter for victories.
Mentioning Stacey Andrews over here at the tackle spot on the left side, 2nd and 8. Slow developing, Jacobs. There's no burst, no speed getting to the hole, just a yard or so there. But Jacobs going to have to do a lot of it because of the injury to Bradshaw. You see Akeem Nicks and Victor Cruz in the receiver spot with no Manningham. Jake Ballard, a couple of key drops last week, 27 catches. The deal scheduled in there at that left tackle spot because of the injury to Will Beatty, detached retina, and Kevin Booth off the bench to left guard. So that left side moved around here for the Giants coming into the game tonight. Deal back in a spot that he played through the latter part of the last decade, including the Super Bowl season. Left tackle. Eli couldn't beat the play clock, calls timeout. Giants trying to keep their opening drive alive. 3rd and 7 when you come back. 6.5 left here. There's the Manning family watching. It's an odd night, of course, for Archie. Rare that he comes here and doesn't pull for the Saints, the team he played for. But Archie and Olivia, their daughter-in-law Ashley, came down for the holiday weekend and to watch her husband Eli play here tonight. 3rd and 7. DJ Ware is the back as Manning throws complete to Ramses Barden for the first down.
Well, that's a great job by Eli Manning. He sees the pressure coming. He knows he has one-on-one coverage on his backside. And there's Ramses Barden one-on-one. Watch at the bottom of the screen. He's going to run a little seam post, and the ball is thrown perfectly. He finds the one-on-one coverage against Patrick Robinson, and you can't throw this any better, Ron. Well done by the Giant offense, picking up the blitz and Barden beating one-on-one coverage.
That was a wow, John. You are correct.
Gain of 26 equals the longest in Barden's brief career. And there's a punishing Brandon Jacobs run to the 25-yard line. Good 6-yard pickup on first down. So let's talk about this New Orleans defense. And they've given up a lot of rushing yards. Not a lot of sacks from 3 first-rounders up front, including Cameron Jordan, the rookie first-rounder out of Cal. They're missing Jonathan Vilma at the middle linebacker spot. Dylan Dunbar calls the signals. When they have to go 3 corners in the nickel, Patrick Robinson joins Greer, Harper, Jenkins, and Tracy Porter, who had that memorable interception of a Manning, Peyton, back in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when the Saints won. 2nd and 4, Eli. Good drive going here. And Akeem Nicks has it for the first time tonight. And a first down at the 18.
I like what Eli's done, but I also know Tom Coughlin wants to run the football. That last run by Jacobs, very impressive. They've given up too much penetration. They've had missed assignments, poor pad level, but they're clearly leaning on Brandon Jacobs to fire up this running game. Jacobs is from Louisiana. This is a homecoming for him. He needs to play big for the Giants tonight.
Giants only 29 yards rushing last week against Philadelphia. They're embarrassed by that running performance.
Darrell Scott is the back next to Eli. Just beats the play clock. Getting hit as he throws towards Jake Ballard, and it's intercepted, ruled inbounds as Will Herring, the former Seahawk, comes down with the interception.
That was a tremendous play by Herring, because Manning had Ballard singled up down the seam, just slightly underthrown, and Herring makes the interception.
Well, the New Orleans Saints, when they made the Super Bowl in 2009, interception such a part of Greg Williams' pressure, turnover, forcing defense. In the last 26 games, they've only come up with 14 interceptions, fewest in the league. They're a very unlikely interceptor. Will Herring, linebacker who played his first 4 years with the Seahawks, able to pick off Eli Manning and give the ball back to Drew Brees at the 20. And a good run for Pierre Thomas from 9 to the 29.
Pierre Thomas, the Saints have all their backs healthy. They had to sit down Chris Ivory, last year's leading rusher. But Pierre Thomas can pick up blitzes. He can run it. He can catch it. He's a world champion back. It's like they have the 4 horsemen here, 4 outstanding tailbacks in New Orleans.
And Thomas comes up the middle as Sproles played the role of the ghost, just going around from the end, and he gives them a first down. Sproles with his versatility at 5'6". Thomas at 5'11" was their leading rusher in 08 and 09, and then had ankle injuries that slowed him last year. Of course, Reggie Bush no longer here. You add Mark Ingram to the equation. And those are the 3 backs plus Ivory that have split the carries for the Saints this year. From the 31, Breeze towards Jimmy Graham. His great tight ends in Giant territory. 24 yards and a first down.
That's just stealing. They get into a heavy personnel group, bring in all these tight ends, motion Jimmy Graham across the formation, little play action pass, Graham to the corner, and they use speed. They use Robert Meacham to clear out the deep zone, and that allows Graham to work in behind him.
Nice two-receiver route, John, giving Brees maximum time to throw the football.
After the 15th 20-plus yard catch for Graham this year. A Brees first down toss to Sproles at the sideline for about 6 yards.
When you zone blitz, that's great, but when you do, sometimes you drop defensive ends. And I know Pierre-Paul's a great athlete, but I don't think they want to see him covering Sproles. I'm surprised Sproles didn't get eaten for a snack right there. But that's just a great job once again by the Saints, picking up a blitz. And Drew Brees rarely gets fooled. He knows where to go under pressure. But that young man, Jason Pierre-Paul, special athlete.
Saints, as they often do, bring in Pat McQuiston, an extra offensive lineman in the blocking. On 2nd and 4, Sproles left. Pinball around, and the spot will be close to the first down at the 36-yard line.
Boy, at 5'6", he just hides behind those big old offensive linemen and squirts through. He has very good vision, very good leverage, and knows where to go to get the first down. This is a very dynamic football player for 5'6", 185 pounds. There isn't a thing he can't do. And he'll surprise some people, and we'll get to it, I'm sure, as this game moves on, where he will have to block somebody, and he will stone him.
This is the part of the field they call the red zone fringe, just outside the 20-yard line. Sean Payton, Drew Brees, they love to take shots.
They go quick. Brees looks, finds Ingram out of the backfield. And the first rounder out of Alabama right around the 30-yard line. Sure you know his story, the dad who was also drafted 28th overall in the draft by the Giants. Mark Jr. was last year out of Alabama. He's missed a couple of games with a heel injury, but the Heisman winner is still close to his father, who is incarcerated. Tries to watch as many, if not all, of Mark's games. And Mark told us it's a thrill for him to play against the Giants, a team he rooted for a bit as a kid, and certainly remembers his dad being so great with them over the years. He's replaced by Sproles, who's off to the races. And it's first and goal, New Orleans, as Sproles takes it to the 7.
You know, when Sproles is in the formation right behind Drew Brees, you got to be alert for the toss plays. They love to double crack and pull the tackles and toss the ball to Darren Sproles. Sproles needs no holes to run through. Watch his quickness. Man, is he exciting. I think he's the free agent acquisition of the year. You do your research on that. Find me a better offseason free agent acquisition than Darren Sproles.
How about Jonathan Joseph in Houston? Been pretty good.
It takes Sproles. Ingram's the back now. First and goal from the 7. Here's Mark running. He is stopped at the 4. That brings us to the end of the first quarter and the rare quarter. Just the 4th in 41 this year. The Saints haven't scored, but they're knocking on the door as we start the second. Second quarter at the newly renamed Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Would only cost you, John, 50 or 60 million bucks for a decade. Could have been the Gruden Superdome. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Wendy Nix on the sideline. Tom Coughlin has watched 2 long drives from the Saints. The first one ended in a missed fake field goal. New Orleans now has it starting the quarter, 2nd and goal at the 4.
Watch a high point fade down here to Graham.
Brees looks that way, goes that way, John, and Graham can't get to it. Deion Grant, 6'2", with some size out there covering.
Yeah, normally that would be a total mismatch against Jimmy Graham at 6'6", but just slightly overthrown by Drew Brees. But John, you got that antenna up, man. You are a play caller, my friend.
Well, Drew Brees is conditioned. One-on-one, Jimmy Graham versus anyone, Graham wins. Former Miami Hurricane basketball player. He's 6'6", 38-inch vertical. He should win there. Great job by Grant.
3rd and goal. Stop here and force a field goal. Be big for the Giants. Brees rolls it, throws it. Lance Moore extends out and scores the touchdown, much like he did that 2-point conversion in the Super Bowl.
Well, they go from 6'6" Jimmy Graham to one of the most unheralded slot receivers in football. Used to call this sprint right option, Jaws. You've seen it for years. The Montana to Dwight Clark play. Just a quick out. Ball's thrown a foot in front of Moore's numbers. Awesome execution. Hard to play man-to-man against the Saints. They have too many guys that can beat you.
What an accurate throw by Drew Brees on the move. That mobility pays big dividends.
So Casey on to add the extra point. We've seen that play not just the 2 for the Super Bowl, but multiple times in the last 2 years. They've gone to that inside the 5, and Drew Brees throws another touchdown in the game. Saints lead. One of the longest held records in the NFL, Johnny Unitas threw a touchdown in 47 consecutive games. Drew Brees has now thrown one in 38 consecutive games, second to that Unitas half-century-old record.
And the way Drew Brees is playing right now, that record is in serious jeopardy by Johnny Unitas. What a player.
Thomas Morstead, the punter, does the kickoffs. It's a line drive, returnable one, which is rare against Morstead. And Darrell Scott of the Giants gets out to the 30 and almost was able to kick it into another gear. The Giants, who have been really desperate for a big-time return this year, almost got one from Scott. Just the second time Eli Manning's had the chance to play a game in this stadium where he came and rooted for the Saints. He told us last night that he would come with older brothers Cooper and Peyton, and they'd get to bring a friend, and Eli was the tag-along. He's much younger than the other brothers, so Eli said, lucky if they got me a hot dog. They remembered that Mom had to remind them, make sure Eli gets some food when he comes to the game. These Giants' second drive taking over at their own 30. Just getting the play off in time. Manning's throw to Hakeem Nicks on the sideline at a gain of 8 to the 38. Tracy Porter the tackle about 4 miles from here where Eli and Peyton and brother Cooper went to high school. Isidore Newman High School, a prestigious prep school here in the area. Eli was 11-1 as a senior. Threw for 81 touchdowns, over 7,000 yards, and the number 18 at Newman retired, honoring all the brothers. We asked Eli about his memories. He's a little dusty, and they remembered a kid Victory. That was his name. He's a sophomore year, wide receiver. Eli said, I threw for almost 280 yards that day.
And 3 touchdowns, he remembered.
2nd and 2, Brandon Jacobs got a hole and gets to the 46-yard line. Boy, Tom Coughlin has to be glad to see that.
Well, that's more important to Eli than where he went to high school. Getting this running game going. Brandon Jacobs, that's his second big run in a row. You're going to see Bear pass go, lead the way, create a 2-back set. Well blocked. And that's a nightmare for a defensive back when you see this freight train coming at you. Good start for Brandon Jacobs in this Giant running game.
And they're using that heavy formation, bringing Stacey Andrews in to load up the beef up front. It's been effective.
Jacobs comes to the right, shut off. Tries to bounce outside. He only gets a yard. Jabari Greer came up to make the play. Jaws and John, we've talked about this when we've had Giant games a lot. One of Eli Manning's strengths is the checks that he makes, the adjustments with the run game at the line of scrimmage.
Well, he is a wily old veteran now. He gets you into the right play. Very seldom will you see the New York Giants throw or run into a bad look. He will find the softness, the void in the passing game as well as the running game. He's very good in his pre-snap phase.
Second and 9, play action pass time. Eli comes towards his fullback. That's Henry Hynoski. Put his head down, and he's very close to and got the first down for the Giants, his 4th catch of the year.
That's what a fullback is supposed to do.
Right.
Eli Manning, play action pass, wants to take another shot. Nobody's open. Watch him check it down to Hynoski, number 45, the fullback in motion. Not only does Harry catch the ball, but watch him unload. Like it.
Good job by Eli as well. It was a shot play looking down the field. Pressure came. He got it to Hynoski in the flat.
Look at how unique that Saints defensive front is. Wait till the very last second to get a guy with a hand on the ground Manning waiting, trying to throw the screen for Jacobs, who was held on to, trying to come out of the backfield by Jeff Charleston.
Well, the play was well read. They have a deceptive screen here. A lot of conversation.
Holding. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And it was Charleston. A lot of times on a screenplay, you can obliterate the guy going out for the screen, but Charleston had a full grab and a hold of him. So it gives him the free 5 and the first down. That's Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the Saints.
Second time the Giants have gone coast to coast with the football. Saints have given up a lot of long possession drives this year, uncharacteristically.
Quick throw to Akeem Nicks, the tall receiver. Look at those huge hands. The one-hand spin forward for the first down at the 27-yard line. We showed you Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the Saints, matching which with Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator. Two guys very familiar with each other. In Buffalo, Greg was the head coach. Kevin is offensive coordinator.
And certainly Kevin Gilbride understood that you better be aware of the blitz. This Saints defense will blitz you about 60% of the time. They've got a lot of built-in hot routes. We just saw one a moment ago.
Second drive for the Giants. Both have been good. Last one ended, though, in an interception. A false start on the left side of the Giants offensive line.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, first down.
All this blitzing is great statistically. As you said, Greg Williams loves the blitz. But when you blitz, you have to make one-on-one tackles. You have to be able to eliminate yards after the catch. There's the false start. Noise is a huge factor in this building. Obviously, it works in the Saints' favor, particularly for their defense.
Poise in the noise has been the Giants' mantra this week.
Number 31 tossed to DJ Ware. Seeking space. Ware got spun around. He only gains a yard before Roman Harper brings him down. Harper is a key factor on this Saints defense. Guys, just telling you about all the pressure Greg Williams likes to bring. It's very odd that you have a defensive back. Harper leads the team in sacks. He has 6.5, third most by a DB for an entire season. Going back to when they started tracking sacks, and we still have 6 games left for the Saints.
Mike, and that trend continues. The Saints have blitzed 7 times already, 5 times with Harper.
Eli, 2nd and 14. Sometime shot down the middle. A play by Malcolm Jenkins, who used to be a corner, coming to break it up as Akeem Nicks went up to get it.
Well, the Saints continue to blitz. That time, right guard Chris Snee found your friend Roman Harper coming up the middle. You're going to see Harper come right up the middle. Chris Snee's going to reject him. Eli has enough time, but one of the great things that Greg Williams does on defense, when he blitzes, it's not just man-to-man. It's 2 deep pressure. It's 0 coverage on one side. It's zone on the other. You get muddy coverages. You don't know what you're throwing against sometimes against this Saint defense.
First down away to the 16. Eli with a screen. What can DJ Ware do with it? Picked up at the 24. Nice play. Scott Shanley, Tracy Porter got the first knock on Ware, and we'll get a Giant field goal attempt coming up.
That's where the injury to Ahmad Bradshaw just kills the New York Giants. You can't substitute for talent. Not that Ware's not a talented back, but Ahmad Bradshaw is the heart and soul, I think, of this Giant offense. They really miss him on these screens.
Lawrence Tynes, the field goal kicker. His 2 misses have been blocked. And Sean Rogers, who plays for the Saints, has been a great kick blocker over his career. From 42, Tynes bangs it through. The Giants get points out of their second drive of the night. 4-point game, 5.5 into the second quarter. 17-18 on that curve, the east bank of the Mississippi. Overtime to get the division lead and have the bye, and they watch the Giants struggle offensively with their ground game last week in the loss to Philadelphia. But 2 good drives from the Giants. This one ending in a field goal and a 4-point lead. Sproles chased it down and brings it out. Darren Sproles brought down to the 20 by Mark Hertzlich. A great story. Cancer survivor who's made this team in a starting role, trying to stop Drew Brees and the Saints. Back on the field when you come back. Five times to the Pro Bowl, the Super Bowl 44 MVP. Drew Brees, who knows if the Dolphins physician would have cleared him after his shoulder surgery, he might have ended up in Miami as a free agent. Instead has come here and helped with Sean Payton together rewrite some offensive records. First down run with Mark Ingram. Gain about 5. Let's take you back to the quarterback meeting last night and how it set up the play call a moment ago.
I like the snag, why fade, with the idea that, hey, give us one more snap of 0 and let's throw a jump ball.
Right.
And if we don't get it, you know, we still have a decent play.
Right.
And then they threw the wide fade to Jimmy Graham. They got a lot of plays, and they know what they're going to call the night before the game. Unbelievable how these guys are on the same page.
2nd and 5. Here's the throw to Ingram. Tackled by Hertzlich. A couple of rookies meet there. It's a first down for the Saints rookie at the 33.
And Sean Payton told us the only thing stopping Ingram from being the Rookie of the Year is me. This kid can run it. He can catch it. He hasn't had the opportunities, I think, that Ingram had thought coming into the National Football League. But that's 2 well-done plays back-to-back by Mark Ingram, rushing and receiving.
Giants first-round pick Prince Amukamara is on the field as New York tries to get organized. And Sproles runs up the middle there. Jaquan Williams, another rookie, 6th-round pick, makes the tackle for New York.
You know, Mike, you talked about the Giants, you know, a little bit unorganized on that defense. They're staying with somewhat of a base big nickel defense. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. And big nickel because Deion Grant, a safety, is that 5th defensive back on the field. He's the wily old veteran for that Giants defense. He gets them lined up correctly.
2nd and 7 for Brees. First 2 options taken away. It comes back to the near side for an attempt to Marcus Colston, but Corey Webster able to knock it away, and it's 3rd down.
I'll tell you, the Giants need to get going on defense as their team captain, Justin Tuck, number 91. He's had injuries this year. He's been unable to practice. He has 2 sacks. He came out, was very self-critical last week publicly. They need their team captain to let it loose in situations like this, 3rd down and long.
Play change at the line. Giants bring pressure. Brees throws sideline for Graham. Incomplete. He had Jaquan Williams, the linebacker, with him. Thought he'd get it, but did not.
Here's Justin Tuck. He's been out of rhythm. He hasn't been able to practice very much. Let's take a look at what he's getting done here. Rushing, it's a little stunt. He comes to the inside. Well done. Once again, Drew Brees sees that one-on-one matchup. Jaquan Williams, the rookie out of South Florida, and Jimmy Graham just missed him right there. They're going to look for that all night, Jaws.
Yeah, but Jaquan Williams in excellent position on the play. Not much room to squeeze it in.
Thomas Morstead kicking toward Aaron Ross, really toward the sideline here. Ross caught a 52-yard kick. Got away from one man, lost the football. Free on the ground. And Prince Amukamara comes up with it for the Giants. Tom Coughlin told us last night we're struggling with our punt return just to try to break one and get one going the other way. But Aaron Ross goes back there and he catches it. Well, he did, but fumbled it that time. Lucky to get the recovery.
Well, it's driving Tom Coughlin crazy. They just have netted nothing in their return game, and Ross is very fortunate right here. He would have felt the wrath of Tom Coughlin had the Giants not recovered this fumble.
Isa Abdul-Quddus for the Saints. Knocked it free, out of bounds at that spot. Go back to the 17. It'll be Giants ball. 6-4 Giants in that brutal stretch of the schedule. They've already played at New England, at San Francisco, and the Eagles at home. After tonight, it's home for the undefeated Packers and then to Dallas. Trying to retie the Cowboys for the division lead here tonight. From the 17, Eli Manning throws complete to Victor Cruz with a gain of 15. Well, Manning had time there, and it's Cruz, his starting receiver tonight.
Well, it's a good understanding of the Giants. They understand what the Saints are playing. It's a weak side rotation. He throws it to the strong side off play action before Dunbar can get there. There's nobody underneath Victor Cruz. I think Victor Cruz is one of the surprises of this season.
Now 49 catches to lead the Giants. Brandon Jacobs left. That left side of the line, David Deal, Kevin Booth leading the way and also keeping Eli clean tonight. That did not happen on Eli's first return to New Orleans to play 2 years ago. Lots of pressures, lots of hits, an interception, under 150 yards. Giants fans, you'll remember Eli getting on Ahmad Bradshaw and the rest of his Giants teammates. They could not handle the very pressures from Greg Williams' defense. So far, so good here tonight. Penalty marker down, back at Will Smith, who hit Eli. It was thrown by Gene Steratore.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 91, led with the helmet. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You'll see it at the top of the screen.
Can't agree with that one. I think he led with his hands.
Well, I don't know.
Well, Mike, back to the pressure on Eli. What they're able to do so far tonight is run the ball. Keep a little balance on offense. They have
break for the Giants on that penalty, having it midfield, and Eli pumped and takes off a rare Manning run for a gain of 4, just his 26th run of the year. Give me the sense you guys had coming into this game, the Giants with all their, I guess, disappointment off of last week. How have they taken that New Orleans surge and punch early on here tonight?
You know, I think they've done a really good job with it, Mike. You knew they came in this game angry. They wanted to establish a run. They wanted to play a violent game. They came out with Hy Noskin as a fullback. They used Andrews as another offensive lineman. They used a lot of heavy and big guys.
I agree. I'm impressed so far. Long way to go. Tom Coughlin's philosophy is hang around until the fourth quarter, and Eli Manning can finish you off.
2nd and 6. Eli had everybody picked up for the moment. The pass incomplete as Akeem Nicks was the receiver on that left side.
So I'm talking about with Greg Williams. Watch this at home. You're going to see an overload blitz at the top of the screen, and coverage is going to roll this way. It's going to end up being a 2-deep zone at the top of the screen with blitz coming that way. It's very unconventional. You don't know what the coverage is half the time.
Good job by Eli to get his receiver on the line so there was no flag. And a fire for Cruz to try to toe tap, but he's out of bounds. It's incomplete. The Knicks, I beg your pardon.
Impressive defense. They're just doing such an excellent job changing it up from a coverage standpoint. That time they played a conventional 2-deep zone. Eli is a little bit late with this throw. It's a great throw and catch, but you run out of grass if you're late. Good call by the official.
Darren Sproles goes back for Steve Weatherford's punt. The guy who grew up a Giant fan of the ire of the Giants fans is Deshaun Jackson. Got his hands on one last week. Sproles lets it hit, and it'll go into the end zone. So it's a 46-yard punt with only 26 of net. 5:20 to go. First punt for each team on the last drives. Breeze to the field with a 4-point lead. I'm trying to keep Sean Payton away from the line of scrimmage to keep him away from harm's way, which happened 6 weeks ago, the game against Tampa. After Jimmy Graham's catch, Sean got caught up there. The broken leg, the tear of the MCL. He had to coach up in the press box for a couple of weeks as the rehab continues. He tried to get up, but Immediately he knew he was in some trouble. Couldn't come out for the second half of that game, and there's the left leg x-ray. The 7 screws in there to try to heal that thing.
Is that really his? Wow.
Apparently it is his, yes. So he's got these Moby legs, these really cool crutches that he's working on that are comfortable and help him get around, trying to get back on the sideline as he was against Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. Brees first down, hit as he throws, still caught. Devery Henderson takes it to the 41-yard line and a first down gain of 21.
This is what makes Drew Brees a special quarterback. The ability to hang in the pocket, wait till the last second. Off the play action, here comes the pressure. Look down the gun barrel. You're going to take the hit, make the throw. That's playing quarterback in the NFL, my friends. All you youngsters out there, you learn to do that, you could make it to the big time.
I've never seen that before. Holy cow.
Mark Hertzlick just a half step away from a sack. Our run with Pierre Thomas for 3 gets us to a Sports Center right now with Trey Wingo.
All right, Michael, thank you. It's official now. Urban Meyer, the new head coach at Ohio State, getting a 6-year contract worth as much as $26.6 million. Meyer, of course, an ESPN analyst this season after resigning at Florida. And Lions defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh called NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell last night to apologize for the stomp heard round the world against the Packers on Thanksgiving. Back to you, Mike.
We should hear something tomorrow about a suspension. The Lions come here to play the Saints next Sunday night. So Sean Payton and company will be game planning with or without Suh, and they'll know that tomorrow. Likely. Brees had a pass with Deion Grant buzzing in the flat, covering the intended receiver Sproles, and it was incomplete.
You know, one thing with Sean Payton and his Saint team, people have to remember they're coming off a bye week, and they're as healthy as they've been. And Sean made the point, you know, but when the head coach is in the training room, the players don't want to be in there.
They got healthy quick.
The Giants, O.C. Umenyiora back in the locker room, not on this drive. Brees, third down throw for Sproles. Got the first down. Down the sideline, Sproles. Stayed inbounds all the way to the 34-yard line. A pickup of 22.
A lot of people get credit there. It's just great blitz pickup to start with. You're going to see a lot of blitz coming from the right side. And watch the Saints wad it up. That's an excellent job. And if you get Sproles one-on-one, I don't care if you have Antrell Roll, Kenny Phillips. I don't care how many first-rounders you have in your secondary. Nobody has had an answer for Darren Sproles. Big first down for the Saints.
Sproles came into this game leading the league in third down receptions with 21. He continues to improve on that.
Like to take shots from this spot on the field. There's Brees. Throw complete. Devery Henderson put on the brakes and out of bounds inside the 10. Gain of 24.
Tell you what's amazing is Jimmy Graham is the primary there. I've never seen a big guy run that route. They're running a double move down the field to Jimmy Graham. Watch him nod to the outside, then attack the post. They double him, and they single Robert Meacham. Or excuse me, Devery Henderson. Usually it works vice versa. I'm used to seeing Henderson clear it out for Graham. These receivers, very talented.
Ball touching the 10, first and goal. And here is Sproles with 5 to the 5. I mentioned no O.C. Umenyiora this drive. Here's Wendy Nix.
Michael Umenyiora is in the training room. He has an ankle sprain. He's getting retaped. I'm told his return, however, is probable.
All right, Wendy, thank you. O.C. went out on that last Giants drive. Justin Tuck put on that pressure on Drew Brees, and there's Tuck. This guy's sucking air right now, trying to stop the Saints, looking to go up 11.
Jimmy Graham at the bottom again.
Right back to the slant, and Grant scores the touchdown. Slam dunk.
I don't know how the Giants think they're going to cover Jimmy Graham one-on-one. If they watch the red zone film I've seen for the last 10 weeks, just the one step, they call it the bullet slant, and Aaron Ross has no chance. Harder to defend a high point fade, and then you come back with the one-step slant. I don't know how you coach a defensive back to stop this big receiver.
Well, he's 6'6", 265 pounds, an amazing athlete. Can't cover it.
No high school football, 1 year of college ball. He played his 4 years of basketball at Miami. Donna Shalala, the former cabinet member and the president at the U, said, you know, when you're done with basketball, you should come look at football. Got his one season of football in, and he's dunking it on the competition in the NFL now. He's one of the unique players to come into the league. I'll never forget, guys, last year we had the Saints, and Sean Payton said, before all is said and done, when we look back at the 2010 draft, this guy who we took with the last pick in the 3rd round might end up being one of the most productive players in all the league. Jimmy Graham's doing that in year 2.
Well, I agree with him. What an interesting, great young kid, too. He had 290 personal fouls playing basketball at Miami. He said, I had more fouls than field goals. But, boy, he found his niche. He's in the perfect offense at the perfect time with Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and this city of New Orleans.
Morstead does what he's done 2 out of 3 kickoffs all year. A touchback. We mentioned Jimmy Graham and his productivity, the unique story that many have heard. Troubled upbringing, instability at home. He lived in foster care. At 14, he was adopted. A single mom who, through the church, got to know about Jimmy Graham, a woman named Becky Vincent, so instrumental in the life of a young man who was walking around with his clothes and everything he really had in a garbage bag not all that long ago. Now he's come here after that basketball time at Miami, become the toast of the town with this very popular team. He's got a sushi roll named after him here in New Orleans. And he said even he can't believe the way things have turned so quickly in his life.
I really enjoyed spending time with that young man. He's a character guy.
Through the hands of Hakeem Nicks. Incomplete pass. And the Giants now really need a response with 2:17 to go, down 11.
Be interesting to see how Sean Payton plays this with his timeouts. I know Greg Williams and the Saints would love to get a stop and give Drew Brees the ball one more time and try to knock the New York Giants out before the half. Critical. New York gets a first down here before the break.
3 receivers. Ramses Barton the third, with no Mario Manningham because of his knee injury tonight. Manning gets time. Manning's pass incomplete for Victor Cruz as Jabari Greer was over there. We have a penalty marker down back on the side.
It's a false start.
Illegal formation. Offense number 76. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Now's where this crowd really helps the Saints. Big penalty. It's the 2nd time the New York Giants have had a penalty.
And they say Chris Snee was not tight enough to the center. You've got to have a helmet that gets on a line kind of through the back of the center, and he was too far back, getting ready for the blitz pressure. So now 3rd and 10.
And the blitz pressure will come. This one, Greg Williams likes to heat it up. Watch Roman Harper, number 40.
That one is held onto by Victor Cruz. Took a shot from Patrick Robinson, but picked up the first down.
That's a great job by the Giants offensive line, giving Eli Manning time to throw the football.
2-minute warning and a huge first down for the Giants in an 11-point hole. Two-minute warning. Anything involving a replay challenge initiated upstairs. 14-3. An 11-point lead for New Orleans. Trying to take a 1-game lead over Atlanta here in the NFC South as the Giants try to pull even with the Cowboys at 7-4. Very important, that tightening wild card race in the NFC as well. New York 2 timeouts to work with. And from the 30 is a shotgun run, and DJ Ware gets about 4 yards.
I think this is the best thing the Giants do on offense. It's one of the reasons they've had such great success coming from behind in the fourth quarters. Their 2-minute offense. Eli very comfortable here.
On the 34, Manning with a throw. It's high. Barton couldn't bring it down. A bit behind Ramses.
And for the New Orleans Saints defensively, they told us they need to get their defensive line going, Jaws. That pass rush. Junior Gillette, Will Smith, Cedric Ellison-Johnson out there. They need to generate a pass rush of their own and not rely on blitzing all the time.
And their first-round draft choice, Cameron Jordan. They need to get those guys heated up.
The rookie Jordan, no sacks yet through the first 10 games. 3rd and 6, quickly to Nix. Can he make the man miss? Got past Robinson, got the sideline. Akeem Nix pulled down late on that sideline. Giants want a flag and get one. So tack 15, poor decision by Robinson. The Giants are going to be inside the 40.
When you full blitz, you have to assume Eli's going to throw it out there quick. And that time, just a quick screen at the top of the screen. Patrick every time, especially when it's on the Giants sideline.
Yeah, it'll be Porter on the flag.
Unnecessary roughness. Late hit out of bounds, number 22 of the defense. 15-yard penalty added at the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Robinson took his hands off. Porter's the one who pulls him down. The Giants have it at the 37 of New Orleans.
But it was a bad angle by Patrick Robinson. He's got to turn that to the inside. You see Porter late, taking him down, but clearly Robinson's got to turn that back to the inside and get a little help from his friends.
Sean Payton can't be happy. They had the Giants backed up 3rd and 10, their own 20-yard line.
6 penalties. That's what the Saints average for an entire game thus far this year. Eli from the 37. Manning's throw is dropped by Victor Cruz. Incomplete. Jabari Greer again in coverage.
Yeah, nice job by Jabari Greer looking back into the backfield. That little trap on the outside. Greer looking back in. Almost came up with the interception. You'll see Cruz looking back to the inside. Here comes Greer from the outside. Boy, he had his eye on that one. Eli Manning saw him and threw that back to the inside.
I'd like to see him catch that football. The Giants have dropped way too many passes, especially last week against that Philadelphia Eagle team. Those will kill you.
Movement by the Saints caused movement by the Giants. And let's see if it'll be called the neutral zone infraction because of that.
False start. Offense number 64. Illegal movement of the center. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And David Boss, who's come over here from San Francisco this year for the Giants.
Well, the center has to make a lot of calls, and there's David Boss. Let's see what he did. Head, he's got to play with his head on a swivel. I didn't see what he did.
That's not Boss.
No,
that's not Boss. So
64 was the announcement.
Yeah, there was movement by McKenzie. That wasn't a penalty on Boss. 2nd and 15. Eli screening it out. Ware drops it. So that's 3 times on this drive. The Giants have let a catchable ball get to the ground.
Eli Manning has to be very frustrated. Those are plays you just count on. Catch the ball, Victor Cruz. Catch the ball before you run with it. Back-to-back errors by the Giant offense, and they compound it with a penalty. And 3rd down and 15. Not where you want to be on the road against a good defense.
3 drops already by the Giants, and they've been killers.
This drive, they made 3rd and 10. They made 3rd and 6. And on 3rd and 15, Manning had to get rid of it. Incomplete as he was on his way down out of the tackle box, so no grounding. But Tom Johnson, a free agent, first-year, former Arena League and CFL player out of Southern Miss, brought the pressure.
Well, that was the key because Victor Cruz opened up in the middle of the field, and Eli did not have time to get the football to him. That's what the New Orleans Saints needed, some pressure from their down 4.
Weatherford got pressured, got rid of it. Sproles, fair catch at the 11, so the net is 31, as is the gross on that kick as well. Chris Berman standing by. Adam Schefter, Chris Mortensen joined for the Toyota halftime show. Fastest 3 as Brady and the Pats carve up Philadelphia. Set to take on the Colts, and we'll get an update on Peyton Manning's injury. He's got a doctor's appointment here in a few days. And Urban Meyer to Columbus, to Ohio State. Coming up, those stories on the Toyota halftime show. Our congrats to Urban as take over in the horseshoe.
But Urban's happy Drew Brees isn't ever due anymore. 3 timeouts left. That's an eternity. Let's see how the Saints play it backed up.
and mark him out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
There's too many weapons. It's a full court blitz, man. Every snap they're after you with these skilled guys. Drew Brees sees man-to-man. You hear him audible. One-on-one, Colston against Webster. That's the matchup the Giants wanted. Their best corner against Colston. It's a heck of a route by Marcus Colston, but you cannot throw the ball any better, Ron.
Yeah, that's right. Accuracy, the most overlooked aspect of playing the quarterback position.
Great job to stay in bounds. A 50-yard gain, longest of the year for Colston. With all those timeouts, chance to mix it up. Sproles a run here, and timeout for New Orleans at the 56-second mark. 2nd and 10. Giants defense on the ropes. Got to keep them out of the end zone. Giants have moved the ball well, but have not been able to get a lot of points out of it. Just the field goal, and New Orleans thus in position to take a commanding lead here before the half. 2nd and we'll call it 10. It's a 4-man rush. Brees the lane to throw. Brought in at the 25-yard line. Again, it is Colston in front of Corey Webster. A 13-yard first down.
Well, if the Giants are going to let Drew Brees operate in a no-back set with one-on-one for Jason Pierre-Paul against Bushrod, they better get to Brees in a hurry, Jaws, or they're in real trouble because Drew Brees is lighting them up right now. Pinpoint accuracy. You got to give credit to this Saint offensive line.
Jimmy Graham, bottom of your screen. Prince Amukamara over there for the Giants. Brees looked that way, comes back to the middle, and Colston started to take off without the ball. Drew Brees, who's already tonight thrown for 240 yards in the first half. If you go back to his last year in San Diego, plus these 5.5 seasons with the Saints, he's the first player in the history of the league to throw for 30,000 yards over a 7-year span, and obviously 5.5 more games to go this year.
If you're watching his performance tonight, that shouldn't surprise you at all.
Amazing number, 30,000. 2nd and 10 for the 25. Again time. Again Colston. 15 yards, first down. Timeout, New Orleans.
Easy.
On a roll. Tom Coughlin watching his defense join the many who have been lit up by Drew Brees and the Saints passing offense.
And the Saint offensive line, you'd better give them a lot of credit because the Giant pass rush hasn't had a sniff tonight, Jaws.
Well, they better get one here or they're going to be in big trouble.
Drive that started at the 12. It's 1st and goal. Brees has more. He's got another touchdown.
Well, you can't play man-to-man or Graham will kill you. And as soon as you play zone, what a route by Moore. And that's Drew Brees' favorite target. He sees his zone coverage. Watch Lance Moore in a tight slot formation. Start to the outside, back to the inside, back to the outside. Ball's thrown perfectly.
John, you said it. The accuracy of the throw allowed the yards after the catch and the touchdown. So far tonight, 126 yards after the catch for the Saints. You can attribute that to the accuracy of Drew Brees, allowing them to run.
The Saints have been together so long. Moore, Colston, Henderson, the continuity, so impressive.
That was 88 yards in 34 seconds.
And they made it look easy.
And you get the feeling if it weren't for the great play early by Jason Pierre-Paul on the fake field goal, it'd be 28-3. The statistics are alarming to me. I've never seen offensive numbers thrown up like Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and the New Orleans Saints. Mike, you have to have something there. These statistics are amazing.
They're ridiculous.
He's got it.
Yeah, the NFL career records, 35.5 passes per game, 23 completions per game. That's an NFL record. And over these 5 seasons with Sean Payton here in New Orleans, the numbers that Drew has been able to put up in over 3,000 passes, completing 2/3 of them, 2,000 completions, and 23,000 passing yards in the horizon here.
Wait, over the last month, we've seen Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and now Drew Brees. 3 guys playing incredible football right now. This goes to show you better have a quarterback in this league. Oh, I'd like to have one of those guys in your coaching days, huh, John?
Big-time numbers for a game in the half against this Giants defense. The rookie out of Maryland, Darrell Scott. They'll try this. He's got a lot of room over here. Here comes Scott. Could not get to the edge as he's tackled at the 25 by Patrick Robinson. A 28-yard return, so 2 timeouts, 27 seconds, and now an 18-point deficit for Eli Manning and the Giants.
Well, Tom Coughlin was hoping to hang around and take this into the 4th quarter, and then Eli Manning work his magic, but the Giants defense just hasn't shown up so far. The Saints going up and down the field at will.
Eli will throw. Screening out to DJ Ware. Checking down, I should say. 4 yards to the 29, and a timeout taken by the Giants with 18 seconds remaining. The playoff picture here in the NFC, you start to think about the second half of the season swoon with the Giants at 6-4. They're trying to stay with the Bears, the Falcons, and the Lions in the wild card hunt. We have a second half here, so you can't throw in the towel on this one, but the Giants still have their chance in their division with the Cowboys, even though Dallas is at 7-4 and a Giant loss tonight. If the second half plays out the way the first half did, it'd be a game back. 2 head-to-heads with Dallas, so the Giants are still going to have a lot of it in their own hands, but off the effort last week against Philadelphia, it's not what they wanted out of the gate. 354 first half yards allowed. Manning for Ramses Barden, caught it, went down, now touchdown. Coughlin will take the final time out of the half at 11 seconds.
I don't understand this NFC East. Philadelphia's had their struggles. Dallas is obviously hot, but when I look at the Giants, sometimes I just don't see the fire, not the emotion, the passion. Look on their sidelines.
It's kind of interesting, John. 2 weeks ago, they beat the New England Patriots up in New England. They were on a roll. They were feeling good about themselves. They go to San Francisco, get thumped. They host the Eagles a week ago. They get thumped, and they've just lost any kind of momentum. You do not see the energy. And, in this game, it is about energy. You got a lot of guys that have been hurt, a lot of guys been injured. Never an excuse, but the cumulative effect of all the negative things that have gone wrong the last couple weeks and the injuries, you can see why they're struggling.
Saints rushing 3, dropping 8. On 3rd and 1, Manning's throw from Nix on the sideline. Great catch. What a play at the 43.
About to throw.
Sorry for getting excited back home, but that was one of the better throws I've seen. Eli Manning gets great protection, pushes up in the pocket, and you cannot throw a football any better than that. Trust me.
Boy, that's a handoff about 30 yards down the field on the money. Nix gets his feet down.
You saw that look down the sideline. He's in bounds. Nix got injured on that play, so he goes out. Devin Thomas has to come in. Only 5 seconds remaining here with the ball at the 43. So 3 receivers right, 1 left for Eli. And we get New Orleans taking a timeout to get their defense organized. The Giants have Devin Thomas and Jarrell Jernigan on the field because of the wide receiver injuries.
I think that's what makes Eli Manning great. When people say, hey, what's so good about Eli this year? What he's done with an inexperienced core around him, amazing. And if you watch the Giants practice, you know what Eli Manning does. Victor Cruz, first year as a starter. Jake Ballard, their tight end, first year as a starter. DJ Ware is protecting him on 3rd downs. Look out there now. You see Ramses Barden, Jarrell Jernigan. I don't know who these New York Giants are. They're out of obscurity, but Eli Manning has helped bring these young Giant receivers along.
Well, they're going to bring the field goal unit out, and Lawrence Tynes is going to try what would be a 60-yard field goal attempt, maybe even 61.
They better be ready to cover this. I'd be surprised if the Saints don't put somebody deep to potentially field this ball.
Given an opportunity for a return. Longest field goal attempted by Tynes, a 58-yarder at altitude in Denver from 61 yards on the way. Is it long enough? No, shy. And the half comes to an end. Giants will get the ball to start the second half. They're in a big hole. Down 18 for Eli's homecoming to Drew Brees and the Saints. Here's Chris Berman in the Toyota halftime show. Saints 354 yards of total offense and an 18-point lead as we head toward the third quarter. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Wendy Nix on the sideline. We've seen impressive Saints performances. That was right up there with some of their best in a half.
Yeah, I used to pick up my schedule. It's not who you play, it's when you play them.
Right,
I never wanted to play the Saints when they're coming off a bye, and that's what the Giants are seeing tonight. The only chance the Giants have is if Drew Brees cools off. If he doesn't, this could get real ugly.
Well, Drew Brees has dropped back 25 times in the first half. He's been knocked down 2 times. If the Giants don't bring the heat, get some hits on him, again, no chance.
We mentioned 354 yards for the Saints in the Drew Brees, Sean Payton era since they came here in 2006. It's the second most yards that they have put up in a first half. They had a 399-yard first half against Jacksonville back in 2007. But Tom Coughlin's team does get the ball first and a chance to get back in this game. Let's see if Justin Tuck and company can turn it around. Tuck talked about if we go down to New Orleans, could be go down to New Orleans and lose, could be a historical second half collapse for this Giants team. Still plenty of games left, but not the effort to match the words of the week. Darrell Scott from a few yards deep takes it out. Again, left side return. Another nice return here by Scott, who's giving him a little juice in this kick return area around the 33. Here's the 154-yard difference. Giants only 29 yards on the ground. A story coming in after last week. Eli's thrown it well, but the Saints are getting 9 yards every time they snap it. Here's the big one, red zone trips. Saints in there 4 times. The Giants just 1. The Saints with 3 touchdowns. Giants getting down to the red zone. They had an interception on drive 1, a field goal on drive 2, and nothing after that. It starts from the 33. And Manning has Jake Ballard, his tight end, for a first down and a gain of a dozen. Out to the 47. Here's Wendy Nix.
Well, Michael, Tom Coughlin told me after the half that clearly his defense needs to get better organized and communicate better, but his main frustration, he said, lies with his offense. He said, we absolutely have to score when we have the opportunity. How many times, he asked me, can you come away without a touchdown? The Giants will be without Osi Umenyiora in the second half. He is now out with an ankle sprain. Mike?
Went back with that ankle injury late in that first quarter. Osi missed the first 3 games with a knee injury that got him in the preseason. So one pass rusher down. Jacobs up the middle. For about 6 yards.
Penalties are killing New York.
Flag down back where the handoff of the blocking took place.
Offense, number 86, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
When you play the New Orleans Saints, played these guys up here every year, Jaws. We used to say you got to control the clock, and to do it, you have to run the rock. And when you commit penalties, like Bear Pasco just did, forget about it. You're way behind again in the down and distance, and it's forced this Giant offense into way too many long yardage situations. One of the reasons why they're way behind and lost 2 in a row.
They just don't have the firepower to overcome too many first and 20s.
Empty backfield. Eli down the middle. What a big shot on Akeem Nicks. Flag down, and he's down. And they come out to take a look at the Giants receiver after the penalty flag thrown after the hit by Isa Abdul-Quddus.
Listen to this. You know, when I was coaching a few years ago, John Lynch.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 42. Hit on a defenseless receiver. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
John Lynch used to make some of those plays, and they were the highlight of our season. I think that's a legal play. I realize it's a vicious hit, but The timing is perfect. The ball is dislodged. I've seen 4 or 5 of those
John,
this year.
Take a look at this. I mean, he's leading with his helmet.
Well, it's hard to say when
close. You're right.
when it's a full-speed reaction. You're taught to attack the ball in flight. And I realize that player safety is paramount, but I've seen way too many of these great plays by secondary people that have been penalties.
Ronnie Barnes in the cap, the Giants veteran athletic trainer, leading the medical staff over there looking at nicks. And this week, guys, the NFL has added something. It's the first week there's an injury observer in the press box who has a phone up there to both sidelines so he can make sure if a guy like that is hit or if there's an injury that they're verifying he's getting the proper medical evaluation before coming back in the game. DJ Ware at the 42-yard line. Clearly, the Giants medical staff was all over that one right away.
But look in the huddle right now for the New York Giants. You can only imagine the pressure on this kid, Eli Manning. Victor Cruz is a rookie. You see number 15 now. Devin Thomas playing offense. Ramses Barden. No Mario Manningham. He was a scratch tonight. And Akeem Nicks hurt just a second ago. There's just not a lot of experience and a lot of unknowns out here on this Giant offense right now.
Victor Cruz is Eli's pretty much go-to guy right now.
2nd and 4. Manning, late pressure picked up, and coming back to get it is Jake Ballard. And Ballard takes it inside the 20. Roman Harper makes the tackle. First down, Giants, gain of 24.
Jake Ballard, 6'6", about 275 pounds. He's got the isolation route on Harper. You'll see Eli checking the defense right now. Comes off the play fake, just lays it up there. And here's where the size advantage works for Jake Ballard. Harper in pretty good position. The ball slightly underthrown, but Ballard locates the football and makes the grab.
Devin Thomas to the top of the screen. He's played all of 15 snaps of offense this year. Eli comes left, caught by Ware out of the backfield, shy of the 10. DJ Ware, the Giants signed off their practice squad, was a great Mr. August. Training camp after training camp, he'd look good. We'd go see them, and we really like Ware, but he'd never make it up to the 53 for the season. Or then he started to get a special teams contribution. Now the third back, and with Bradshaw out, he's the number 2 and playing a good role here tonight.
Number 78, Stacey Andrews, has just checked in as a extra tight end. I don't think they're going to slam Jacobs here, Jaws. I think there's going to be a little play action.
I would slam Jacobs.
6'6" Ramses Barden. Bottom of the screen. Jacobs runs that way and picks up the first down inside the 10. So the Giants will have first and goal. This is what Tom Coughlin refers to as the green zone. We talk about the red zone all the time. Giants refer to it as the green zone. And when they had Kevin Boss here the last 3 years at tight end, he had 10 touchdowns when they got inside the 10-yard line. He was Eli's choice so often in this part of the field.
Well, they're long gone now. He's going to have to look for his new tight end, Jake Ballard. Early down, play action pass is what the Giants are known for down here.
First and goal at the 8. Hynoski came in motion. Jacobs goes to the outside. Brandon Jacobs put a shoulder down. That's a heck of a touchdown drive to start the half for Big Blue.
Great job by the New York Giants. And there's the diesel. Roman Harper once again one-on-one with Brandon Jacobs.
Got to be careful here not to get a flag for taunting.
A little excessive celebration.
Yeah. DJ Ware comes to get him, and Tom Coughlin's going to be over there too with a reminder.
Watch the finish on this play, one-on-one.
Oh, that hurt all the way up here.
That's the Brandon Jacobs, the New York Giants have long loved. 57 career touchdowns for Brandon Jacobs.
Extra point added by Tynes. Jacobs passes Alex Webster, Giants history, most total touchdowns. 5th on the list now. He delivered the blow as he got into the end zone and tightened this game. Big drive led by the Giants, and Eli Manning capped off by Brandon Jacobs, too shy of Tiki Barber's career rushing touchdown mark. We mentioned the total touchdown mark of Alex Webster's a moment ago that he passed Webster. 5th on that list. Important drive out of the locker room. Giants within 11 from 9 yards deep. Here comes Sproles. He got past the 20 out to the 26-yard line. Spencer Paysinger leading the tackling for the Giants. Off that great first half, we'll see if Breeze can continue in the second. A big drive for the Giants defense, down 11. The Saints offense, a great first half. We showed you the beginning of a Monday Night Football this week, the meeting that Sean Payton has with his quarterbacks coach Pete Carmichael and quarterback Drew Brees. It's like the meeting hit the playing field. 354 yards in the first half. Incomplete as they try to continue it here in the second half. Aaron Ross. Let's show you the meeting and how it played out on the field in that first half.
I like the snag wide fade with the idea that, hey, give us one more snap of 0 and let's throw a jump ball.
Right.
And if we don't get it, you know, we still have a decent play.
Right.
You know, technically you could get, let's say, fooled with a snap of coverage and just turn to Jimmy Graham and give him a slant.
Sure.
Because I don't really like snag into coverage either.
All the things you talk about, if this, then that, and there was the if and the then in real life. The one attempt for Graham in the first quarter incomplete, come back there a bit later on and get the touchdown. Mark Ingram the carry, gets across the 30, and a gain of about 3 yards.
You know, when you get a great quarterback and a great coach, and you surround them with great skill players, and you keep the group together, that's possible. I know this about Sean Payton. Every day Drew Brees comes to work, Payton stimulates him. I know you like to use those manipulation words and plethora and all that, but he stimulates Drew Brees. And the two of these two are totally on the same page. Their communication is outstanding.
And Brees always has the veto power. He runs the play that he likes.
Can the Giants make a play against Brees in this offense? 3rd and 6. Brees steps up, hits Devery Henderson for a big first down. Mukamara the tackle at the 39 with the chains moved.
That's what he does. He just knows where everybody is all the time. Watch his eyes. He's going to see Brees look to the right. He wants to throw the ball to Sproles. He's able to push up in the pocket and find his alternate receiver. That's on the New York Giants pass rush. You have to use your defenders to stop his first and second read, but if Drew Brees can get to his third read, you got to put that on your defensive line. No pressure at all.
Only 3 rush. He's going to find time by moving around.
First down throw back to the middle. Henderson busy here in the second and third quarter. Yard shy of the first down. Deion Grant the stop.
You know, Brees begins to feel, hey, maybe we're going to come with the pressure. You see the quick drop. Eyes are always looking somewhere, focused, whatever he's doing. Check the eyes out right here. Zeroed in, delivers the football right on the numbers of Devery Henderson.
Second and very short. Ingram picking up the first down into Giants territory. Across midfield is Kiwanuka. Made the tackle.
You almost forget that Mark Ingram was a Heisman Trophy winner and a highly touted draft pick. Everybody on this Saint offense is talented. And there's 2 things, Ron. Number one, you have to be able to line up. If you can't line up, you can't play here. And you must be able to catch the ball. If you can't catch the ball, Sean Payton will have you catch the next flight out of here. Every one of these Saints can do those 2 things.
Well, there's movement by Jimmy Graham. It'll cost him 5.
False start. Offense, number 80. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Now, remember, Graham didn't have a lot of football background, came here. He said David Thomas, who was put on IR, backup tight end, was so invaluable to him last year. He would just tell him, hey, you got to line up here, you got to line up here. He would help, and they said Drew Brees keeps me after practice every single day just to go over all the multiple things that a guy without a lot of football background needs to know. After the 8th penalty on New Orleans, Tuck got to Brees, but couldn't bring him down. Brees kept it alive and completed the pass. Caught by Pierre Thomas. Linval Joseph with the miss after Tuck.
Now, this is one of the great plays that Drew Brees has ever made. It all starts with incredible blitz pickup by Pierre Thomas. Watch him stuff this middle linebacker. Breeze gets away from Tuck, keeps his eyes downfield, makes Linval Joseph miss. How about that throw? I don't know. I don't want to sound like a cheerleader up here, but way to go, Breeze. That's awesome.
Well, that's stating the obvious. His ability to extend the play is just tremendous. He's normally a guy that, just dissects you from the pocket, but you get him outside, he can make plays.
Tom Coughlin's throwing a challenge flag. Was he doubting if Breeze was
New York is
past the line?
challenging that the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage when he released the pass. Timeout.
We'll take a peek. You've got to be completely over the line, everything over the line, for that to be the case. This didn't take long. Looks like the Giants will lose this challenge. Gene Steratore already had a quick peek, and here he is.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The quarterback's right foot was behind the line of scrimmage. It was a legal forward pass, and the result was a first down. The New York Giants will be charged with their first timeout.
They can only challenge one more time. The rest of the game, again, you'll see Breeze. There's the line of scrimmage, not official with that black line. And when Breeze throws, he was clearly still with that 1 foot and most of his torso behind the line of scrimmage. Can even linger all the way back to just have 1 foot back, right. Even with the line of scrimmage, you're still okay. You've got to clear that line of scrimmage to be considered over the line. Quick pitch, Ingram on the edge with Bushrod out to block. Chased down by Dave Tollefson.
Well, you look out there on defense for the Giants, already missing Osi. Umenyiora went to the locker room early in the first half. Justin Tuck, now he's on the sideline, their team captain, leader. I don't understand the front four of the Giants. They really haven't done what they came to New Orleans and do, and that's challenge Drew Brees with some great pass rush like they did on the road against Tom Brady a couple weeks ago.
Screen set up, and here is Thomas. Pierre Thomas with a cut. Inside the 10, the Saints are back in the red zone for the 5th time tonight.
Well, about the only player giving a great effort, Jason Pierre-Paul rushes Drew Brees, reads the screen, and gives great effort coming back. Jason Pierre-Paul, number 90 right there. He'll rush Drew Brees. Screen is set up nicely, though. You'll see Pierre Thomas right down the alley, right there, right down the numbers, cuts it back, and there's Pierre-Paul. That's effort. Saved a touchdown.
Gain of 24. Nice block by the center, Brian De La Puente. Brees stepping up, taking off. Touchdown, Drew Brees.
Wow.
Well, Drew Brees doing his Michael Vick impersonation. Saw the open field in front of him, made a defender miss, dives to the end zone.
It's Deion Grant one-on-one. They had Linval Joseph earlier in this drive. Take a look at Deion Grant, 34, one-on-one. Come on up and wrap tackle. People have often underestimated Drew Brees' athletic ability. That's an excellent job by the Saints, answering the Giants' score with one of their own.
First rushing touchdown of the year for Brees. 4th as a Saint, 8th of his career. And John talked about the answer right after the Giants score. 9 plays, 73 yards. And Drew Brees, who last ran it into the end zone against Miami in that great comeback a couple of years ago, has one here. 28-10. Drew Brees over 300 yards, has a rushing touchdown to his 3 in the air. That was the least impressive drive of the night. That was only 73 yards. You have 2 80-yard touchdown drives and an 88-yarder for this New Orleans offense tonight.
Yeah, they're slipping up, Mike.
Morstead. No return. Terrell Scott takes a knee at 5:48 here in the 3rd quarter. Saints up 18. Big Ten ACC Challenge next couple of nights on the networks. Illinois, Maryland early, and then a big-time game with number 4 Duke. Seth Curry taking on number 2 Ohio State, Jared Sullinger. It's tomorrow night, and that'll continue on Wednesday night. Big Sporting Goods Big Ten ACC Challenge on ESPN. First down run, Darrell Scott with no gain. Tom Coughlin, great success, Super Bowl championship. His team finished so strong in that Super Bowl winning year of 07, and they've been great starters, winning 3 out of every 4 in the first half of the season. But down the stretch, 41% of the games, that's the winning percentage. It's not good enough, and each year has its own circumstances. This year it's a team that's decimated with injuries, but no doubt the players have brought it up, the fans have brought it up, and will continue to do so with his brutal schedule back into the season for the Giants. Hakeem Nicks back in the game after being injured on the last drive. It's a first down across the 30-yard line.
This Patrick Robinson's got to tackle better. That's the second time in a one-on-one situation he hasn't delivered the tackle. When you blitz, you have to assume the ball's going to come out quick, and you got to be able to make one-on-one tackles.
Pretty hard, John, when you're 10 yards off and give that kind of space between the corner and a wide receiver come up and make that play. I'll give Nick some credit. Made a miss.
Yeah, I thought he had the first down, guys. The line judge came back and said he stepped out a yard shy of the first down. So it is 3rd and 1, a direct snap to Scott with Snead pulling, but he never got to the edge, and Scott lost the football too.
Boy, that's a great job by Tracy Porter. You can tell his neck is healthy. He suffered a serious scare a few weeks ago against Tampa, and this is going to be Saints ball. That's all Tracy Porter. He reads this all the way and puts his helmet right on the football.
Left forearm is down there. It may be ruled down. Giants are down to their last challenge. Is the ball coming out? That's the question. That forearm down is a body part considered to be down by contact. Is the ball coming out before then? Coughlin has the option with 1 challenge left. That's very, very close. And he does challenge.
He's got no choice.
No choice, yep.
Waited for his guys upstairs. You have assistant coaches upstairs watching what you see at home. They'll roll the dice here on their last challenge of the night. Ruling on the field is fumble and Saints ball. Has to be indisputable video evidence that Darrell Scott had his forearm down, which would be, once you make contact, the body part down long enough to say you still had the ball and was not fumbled. His wrist comes down here, and the forearm, then the ball starts to come out. So this is like splitting hairs.
That's a fumble.
Down by contact. We'll split the hairs.
And I'll go with you, Charles. I would say that's just barely down by contact, but
I feel good going against John.
It's the high-definition, super slow-mo world of instant replay that we now live in. And I thought you guys said it best. Tom Coughlin, you've got a challenge at this point, down 18. Give the Saints the ball at the 29-yard line, that red zone fringe, as you guys like to refer to. And let's see, here comes Gene Steratore with the ruling. Saints ball. The crutch tells you.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a fumble recovered by New York. The New York Giants will be charged with the second timeout. New York is also out of challenges for the remainder of the game.
Ruling stands, not confirmed. So not enough visual evidence to flip it.
Watch Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator's reaction here. He loves turnovers, man. He just is crazy about getting turnovers. It's his lifeblood. Number one objective when he came to New Orleans was to generate turnovers. And when they won the Super Bowl, I think they were second in the league. I think Drew Brees is going to take a shot right here. I'll bet you your per diem check, Jaws.
All right, Greg Williams coming in this game, then he had 9 takeaways. That brings him up to 11. All right. Already lost 1 wager, too. Let's see what happens.
Brees looking, had his arm hit as he went to throw. It was Jason Pierre-Paul. He has been the best up front for the Giants all season with his 10.5 sacks, who got to Brees.
And he was looking for Robert Meacham down the field on a double move.
Well, I'll tell you, that's one of those plays. Jason Pierre-Paul got in as Drew Brees was throwing the football. Those are the ones you hurt your hand or your arm on.
You mentioned the lack of turnovers, and you see how lethal this team has been when getting an extra possession. Take to Pierre Thomas, looking for another shot. Crossing the field is Graham. Jimmy Graham. Is he inbounds? Stepped out behind the play. Inside the 5. Now they're going to talk about it here, the 3 officials.
I've never seen a big
Touchdown!
guy run out like that.
Drew Brees, but John, the route was terrific. The throw was out of this world. Look at the finish. Only place where Graham could make the catch. As you see right here, he does cross the pylon. Touchdown, but what an accurate throw once again by Drew Brees under duress, getting hit as he delivers the football.
And it doesn't matter if he's out of bounds or not. The Giants have no challenges. So the ruling on the field will stand, and it looked like they made the correct one. And he still has possession of the ball once he gets over that pylon and then loses it out of bounds.
Well, they love to take shots in the red zone fringe. And what a throwing catch.
2 touchdown catches for Graham, 2 for Lance Moore, 4 touchdown passes for Brees. And the Giants are getting their doors blown off by the Saints.
Well, they're going to run off Robert Meacham at warp speed. And watch Jimmy Graham start across the field and then break it back to the corner route. And the ball's thrown perfectly. But Jimmy Graham can run these patterns at full speed for a big guy. It's rare the way he gets in and out of cuts. And he's such a huge target to throw at. Drew Brees has to love throwing the ball to this kid.
We mentioned he was taken at the back end of the 3rd round. So the Saints win the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and then right after the Super Bowl, you have to quickly turn to that process of looking at all the players. So they bring in Jimmy Graham without a lot of football experience, and he told us, you know, I sat in my hotel room for hours, and I had a 15-minute visit with the tight ends coach, Terry Malone. The Saints were just in the euphoria of the Super Bowl party. The most interest was shown by Cam Cameron of the Ravens, the offensive coordinator, Bill Belichick in New England, and Bill Parcells, who at that time was in Miami. So the Saints at the back end of the 3rd round take Jimmy Graham, and the phone rings, and it's Bill Parcells, who Sean Payton used to be an assistant for. And Parcells says, that's the guy I was getting ready to take in the very next round. You got yourself a heck of a pick. Graham went to college at Miami, and Parcells, of course, was the domo, the personnel and the decisions with the Dolphins. And he saw Graham practice down there in Miami, loved his speed and his toughness. Bill was right, and Sean was right.
Sean was more right. Okay. Peyton was the one that was right there. He got him.
It goes to show you if you like a guy, you better take him early.
How about this tight end class from that year? This 2010 may go down as the year of the tight end in the draft. Gresham doing great things in Jay Gruden's coordinated offense in Cincinnati. Gronkowski and Hernandez both taken, the Patriots tight ends. The pair of tight ends taken by the Ravens, Ed Dixon and Dennis Pitta. Tony Moeaki, no receptions, out for the year with a knee injury in Kansas City. But we saw last year that one-hand grab in the back of the end zone, the things he gives to their offense.
Football's a matchup game, and those athletic tight ends, big and strong, give you favorable matchups.
Manning's pass complete to his other tight end out to the 30-yard line. Bear Pasco grabbed that. We were in New England last week, and we asked Bill Belichick about that, Jaws. Just how do you find the right guy to guard these tight ends? And we say guard, use the basketball term on purpose.
Well, you watch in this year's draft, you will
go to some Big East basketball games.
Well, that's what you're going to need, John.
Jacobs fumbled and fell back on it after a gain of 3. And David Boss, the center, was slow to come off the turf.
I look down there on that Saints sideline, watch Greg Williams with his defense. It looks like the Saints of '09. He wants turnovers, and here's the hit. Ball clearly comes out. Giants are lucky to get that back. This running game doesn't even resemble a New York Giant offense of the last several years, Jaws.
Yeah, they don't have the components on the O-line. the versatility in the backfield. It's just tough right now. They're decimated by injuries.
Deep drop Manning. Lost the football as Will Smith was bearing in on him. And David Deal's left tackle got it.
Well, it's the first time David Deal's been out there left tackle in a while. He's been playing guard. Will Beatty gets hurt. Deal takes over, and Will Smith, number 91, power rush. Finds Eli Manning, who had to drift out of the pocket. Saint defense, they're putting it together tonight.
Well, it's meet me at the quarterback time. It's bonus time. Get the sacks. Get the negative plays. There's a rally at Eli Manning right now. A lot of pressure on this O-line of the Giants.
3rd and 22. Got out of it quick. Pass caught on the sideline. Nix stepped out of bounds back here at the 33-yard line. Shy of the first down.
Second time Akeem Nicks has lost sight of the sidelines. The great receivers understand that the sideline is the enemy. That's the 12th man. They fake a quick screen. They get Nix on a little stalk and go, and he clearly steps out. Good effort by the Saints. That's the second time Akeem Nicks has been close to a breakout.
Well, the Giants certainly needed an explosive play there. They didn't get it. They're going to have to punt. But if Nix could have stayed in bounds, he had a lot of room.
Great definitive look down that sideline. Clock stopped at 1:53 after he goes out of bounds, and then the play clock was stopped as second ball got loose on the field off the sideline. Steve Weatherford with the punt. And a fake here or a bad snap. Weatherford tries to keep alive, and he gets destroyed by Ramon Humble. And the Saints will take over.
Wow. All the trouble the Giants had last year with Matt Dodge, and now they run into trouble here with Weatherford. Let's see what happened.
I think he just went on his own, John. It doesn't look like a fake to me. Nope. It's not.
Flag down over there as well on that far side. He needed to get all the way out to the 39-yard line. He needed to get 6 yards on that run. Three times Weatherford's run for a first down.
Well after the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct taunting number 15 of New Orleans. It will be New Orleans ball, 1st and 10 after a 15-yard penalty.
Well, it's on Courtney Roby, but it'll be Saints ball pushed back to the 48-yard line.
I don't know about all this taunting I'm seeing the last couple days after the whistle.
I agree with you, John. Play ball. Play ball. Where's the discipline? Where's the respect for the game? Respect for your opponent.
Not these Saints on offense. That's 460 yards. We're not even to the fourth quarter.
So they did to Indianapolis 62-7 in here 6 weeks ago. Looked at Mark Ingram. His coverage. So Brees has bounced it over there. Completion, they say forward pass.
Well, Drew Brees absolutely on fire tonight. You know, he can beat you in so many ways, but the one thing that just jumps out at you is the accuracy every time he delivers the football. He continues to control the football. And one of those attributes we don't talk about, Drew Brees, mobility, the ability to escape the pocket, make people miss, and score touchdowns. Once again, mobility to step up in the pocket, deliver with amazing accuracy where only his receivers can make the catch.
Second and 10, Brees out of the backfield. Sproles never had complete control of it. Incomplete pass.
Drew Brees, that's probably your finest time tonight watching this, huh, Jaws? You've seen Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Brady.
man, I get excited.
Here's Jaws. Let me imitate you, Jaws. His eyes are down the field. His eyes are manipulating. His eyes are still down the field. His scrambles and his eyes are down the field. He scrambles, he avoids Joseph, but his eyes are down.
There you go.
And still, he finds Pierre Thomas. Great play.
Sincerest,
you did good.
Sincerest form of flattery.
Oh, boy.
Brees shot intended for Colston. is incomplete. Jaws, you know, when they copy your act.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just the ultimate compliment.
And I take it as that.
I'm still learning the technical part of this profession. But
It was 3 years. Stop that.
eyes downfield. I always told my quarterbacks, maybe that's why I got fired. That's your eyes in the ground when you're running around.
Well, how many times have you seen a
Come on,
quarterback break
yeah.
the pocket
Keep
and
your
they are
eyes
looking down?
downfield.
We see that face mask go down rather than downfield. Don't read the rush. I got to help you out.
And
Thomas Morstead spins one down to Aaron Ross, who fumbled the punt return earlier. He has it at the 15-yard line with $1:11 to go. So the Giants finally able to stop the Saints offense. He's on a roll, 4 consecutive drives with a touchdown until that last one.
And 35-10, the Saints led. And nope, right there, that past series, they threw the ball 3 consecutive times. And I do know from listening while I've been here the last few days, they would like to be a little bit more balanced. Hard to criticize what they've done offensively tonight.
Wow. Impossible to criticize what they've been able to do.
Timeout called for by Jonathan Casillas, who's in the starting lineup with Jonathan Vilma out. Well, so many characters that you see year in, year out here in New Orleans, and the entire transformation of this franchise right after Hurricane Katrina. And remember, we'll never forget that first game back here in the Dome in 2006 against the Atlanta Falcons. And you look down at that right end zone on September 25, 2006. Man with a mustache there, Steve Gleason, broke through and blocked an Atlanta punt that was recovered by one-time Giant Curtis DeLoach for a touchdown. Started that special season. Well, you may have heard Steve Gleason has been diagnosed with ALS back in January, and they had Gleason Gras yesterday. Sean Payton, Drew Brees among the Saints who were out here. They had concerts and a lot of folks trying to raise awareness of ALS and help the fundraising in Steve Gleason's name. Brandon Jacobs, the tackle. And there's Steve on the sideline watching the game. It just is so sad and just catches you. You know, 5 years ago, that guy was among the elite athletes out here blocking a punt. The defining moment of that special 2006 post-Katrina season here in New Orleans. There's Steve in this battle with ALS.
Yeah, it's very tragic. You know, it's a memorable night that we'll remember for the rest of our lives when he blocked that punt. It was the loudest I've ever heard a stadium. And to see Steve Gleason fighting ALS right now, we wish him the very, very best.
The Saints have been great, and so is this New Orleans community. They rally around their team like so many cities do. Brandon Jacobs with a run up the middle. He gets a first down. That should spin this third quarter out. Gain of 8 for Jacobs. The Giants run for about 60 yards here tonight. Better than the 29 against Philadelphia.
Get the whistle. I know that guy, Jaws.
That's scary. Hey, you know him, but you know everybody.
You got to cover your ears.
That's the end of the third quarter. And that's the way to tell you the third quarter's over. Breeze went up high and down hard on the dunk. And so did Jimmy Graham. And so have the Saints all night long. Off we'll go to the fourth quarter here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Wendy Nix on the sideline. 35-10. Scoreless first quarter. Saints outscored the Giants 21-3 in the second. Eli Manning downfield and breaking free is Victor Cruz. Inside the 10 and Cruz. Cue the salsa dance. Touchdown Victor Cruz.
Now, no question there was a blown coverage by the Saints. Victor Cruz was a good 20 yards behind the secondary, and Eli just laid it up for an easy Giant touchdown.
Wow, great pickup on the blitz. Both inside backers come after Eli. Watch the 2 inside linebackers, but both safeties, Roman Harper, number 41, and you saw 27, Malcolm Jenkins, flying up into the line of scrimmage. Victor Cruz, he's got to be averaging close to 20 yards a catch this year after that.
Hey, John, how about Eli this second half? He's got no quitting him. 11 for 11, 176 yards.
Patrick Robinson got in there quick.
Defense, number 21 on evading. Penalties half the distance to the goal. We will reattempt the try.
You know, we like what Victor Cruz has done this year, and you like him even more. He's a guy who's done this salsa dance after all of his touchdowns during the year. And there's his 6th, and he doesn't go there. His team's down by 18.
Smart.
He gets it. You know,
Yep.
he gets it, and he understands. Cruz, who leads the Giants in receptions and receiving yards and touchdowns here this year.
That's just really bad defense by the Saints. That's the one thing you cannot allow to happen. You have a 25-point lead at home. 2 veteran safeties back there, Jenkins and Harper. I've seen a lot of strange things happen in my life, and I would not give Eli Manning or any of these Manning brothers any opportunities. I can vouch for that.
35-17, 10 seconds in. Cruz's terrific season continues with his 6th touchdown. Back here in New Orleans, a very unseasonably cool night. Temperature in the low 40s. Saints anticipating potential onside kick from the Giants. Had their hands team and 10 up at the line and just Sproles back deep. And the Giants kick it away and a touchback. New Orleans ball at the 20.
Yeah, let's take a look at that last touchdown by the Giants. It's an eye violation on Harper. He's looking in the backfield at the play action fake. Now you got to be back in the deep middle by looking in the backfield. You're caught out of position. Cruz able to go right over the top. Harper looking in the backfield, doesn't get help from the outside. Easy touchdown, Eli Manning to Victor Cruz. 25-point lead. You can't be peeking in that backfield. Stay deep. Give him the underneath throw. Don't give him the explosive play. Bad mistake by the secondary of the Saints, and particularly Roman Harper.
So the lead is 18. Pierre Thomas, the back behind Breeze. And he runs it for 9 yards. Giants desperate for a turnover or something. Keep themselves in this game. Mark Hertzlich, who got his 2nd career start here tonight, linebacker out of Boston College, out of the lineup the last couple of drives as he was banged up earlier, and the Saints go no huddle. And a first down run for Pierre Thomas across the 35 to the 36.
Well, the Giants got to get some urgency on defense. That time they snapped the ball before they're even ready. Their backs are to the Saints offense. Drew Brees is still on the gas pedal. The Giants got to get their calls in, get lined up faster, and show a lot more urgency. The game is on the line here, and you need a 3-and-out stop. You got to get the ball back to Eli immediately. That's a bad job by the Giant defense.
First down, Breeze. Incomplete, intended for Darren Sproles.
You know, John, we talked to Perry Fuel yesterday, the defense coordinator for the Giants, and he said they wanted to stay in that base big nickel, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, and 3 of those defensive backs being safety, so they wouldn't have to make all the multiple changes, yet they still were unprepared and got caught.
Well, the clock is the only enemy right now, and vital that the Giants get a couple quick stops and give their offense a chance because they played quite well on the other side.
They hand it to Sproles, coming around the edge. And Darren Sproles into Giants territory. We saw earlier in the game they ran the same thing with Sproles as the ghost. They faked it to him. That time he got it.
Well, you got to play your keys. And you cannot close. I know the tackle's blocking down and flows starting that way, but if you're Jason Pierre-Paul, you can't close if you have no contain outside of you. Got to keep your poise. You got to execute your defense. You got to know what's being called and execute your assignment.
Gain of 17 for Sproles. Breeze completes it to Pierre Thomas. Spun off a tackle inside the 40, and Trell Roll hit him first.
Well, if you give Drew Brees this kind of time, it's like 7-on-7. In other words, take the lineman off the field for the defense. He'll just slice you up like he's been doing all night long. The New York Giants not getting any pressure on Drew Brees. When you give an NFL quarterback this kind of cushion, he's going to put the ball on the numbers all day long and move the chains.
Mark Ingram's turn. Hammer for the first down at the 35-yard line.
The Giants doing a nice job trying to generate their pressure, but they can't get it done because of the protection done by the New Orleans Saints, those chips and those tight splits. This is very creative. You see Henderson making a chip. Also, you get another block from your fullback Collins, giving more time for Drew Brees. Very creative in the design of the pass protections by Sean Payton.
Another completion to the 29-yard line. Devery Henderson gain of 5.
You know, everybody's talked about, you see Pete Carmichael calling plays there, the offensive coordinator who's done a great job taking over while Coach Sean Payton is on the mend. I'm starting to get the feeling I could go down there and call some plays with this outfit, but Pete Carmichael, he's the unsung hero, I think, of the Saints, taking over for Sean Payton. He's been with Drew Brees from his Charger days, and there'll be a lot of people calling about him as a head coach.
There's 29, another run for Thomas. Keeps the pile going and very close to the first down at the 24-yard line. You mentioned Pete Carmichael, 18 years an assistant, 12 of those in the NFL. He had never called plays before. Then when Sean Payton got hurt in Tampa, he had to take over in the second half. Subsequent games after that, Drew Brees has known him since San Diego days. He was the quality control guy. It's an unsung, very vital role and often a springboard to an assistant coach job in this league. And when Brees got here, Carmichael came, and he's been part of this brain trust offensively for the Saints. From 24. Oh, what a shot to the head, and Jimmy Graham got bent backwards as well. That clearly was a shot to the head, and quickly, Zach Strief wanted no part of any concerns with Kenny Phillips as they push and fight. More flags are thrown, and the best news is that Graham is up, and he is angry.
Well, you'll see this catch right here, and here comes
That's
a shot of Kenny Phillips. Wow. Boy, there's a tough guy right there, Jimmy Graham, because he takes a vicious hit right here. Bent over backwards and bounces up.
And he jogs off to the sidelines, you see in the corner, with a huge hand.
Guy played 1 year of football in college. Didn't play high school ball, Pop Warner Little League. Guy looks like he's been around the game for about 15 years. Very savvy receiver, and obviously he showed his toughness right there.
The Saints medical staff over trying to do an assessment on Graham. Even though he jogged off, they'll still go through the full series of questions.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 21, a hit on a defenseless receiver. The play was an incomplete forward pass. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, New Orleans.
Thought we saw a second flag in there with the back and forth between both teams, but just that penalty, and the Saints have it.
The play, 76 is eligible.
Saints have it at the 12.
Look out there in that huddle. Pat McQuiston, number 76, an extra offensive lineman's checked in. John Gilmore, blocking tight end, number 89.
Hey, McQuiston, you're off. You're right there.
He's an offensive tackle off the line of scrimmage.
Here's Thomas cutting to the left.
I don't know how you line up. Can't line up to these things, Mike. The Giants totally confused. Say what you want.
Lack of discipline in their gap assignments, John. They're just no one on the edge. You set the edge. Too easy.
Well, not often do you send in an extra offensive lineman and line them up in the backfield as a tight end. The Giants are saying, wait a second here. Where's Jimmy Graham? Who's 89? Is that Pierre Thomas? Ball snap, cuts back, nobody there. Bad run fits. You make a mistake against the Saints, they make you pay. 500 plus yards tonight from the Saints. I have to believe they're over 500. Mike.
529 to be exact.
Another extra point added by Casey. Just another 80-yard drive for touchdown. Their fourth 80-plus yard drive for touchdown tonight. Well, this Superdome, now known as the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, will host the BCS National Championship game in January, and then fast forward to another basketball Final Four. Been some great finals in here. And the Super Bowl in 2013, seventh time. Remember the last time with Brady, Belichick, Pats back in 02. This building, which back in 2005 in August when Katrina hit, was the place of last refuge for many. And so many sad tales. As the city has come back, so too has New Orleans in terms of the Superdome and hosting some of the biggest events of sports. And they've redone the entire bowl of this stadium. It looks like a very different stadium from when we used to come here pre-Katrina.
Well, they've done a great job with the stadium, but you know what? The fans have stayed the same. What an incredible, loyal, passionate group of fans here in New Orleans. And I mean, I think they've been on their feet most of this game. They're just enjoying it.
It's such a bad franchise for so long. Even with this recent success, you're talking about a franchise that's about 92 games under 500 for its existence. All those poor years going back to when they were established in the mid-60s. Eli Manning rooted for some of those teams. DJ Ware at the catch out to the 26-yard line.
I'd be surprised if you see a lot more blitzing from the Saints. I think Sean Payton went up to Coach Williams and says, hey, let's cool it with the blitzes. Let's let our front four rush the passer. Let's not give up any big plays. The clock is the only enemy now.
Not so sure Greg Williams can help himself, John.
Eli's hit 13 consecutive passes with that one to Ware. Tackled by Patrick Robinson. And first down for the Giants as we spin inside of 10 minutes. Been a tough night for Archie and Olivia as they have watched here tonight. It's like Eli's last return visit to New Orleans.
And Eli's a coach on the field, directing his receivers where to go. That's 14 in a row this second half. He's
unbelievable. I mean, it's not the offense, really. It's the defense. And I don't think I've seen the Saints punt the ball. Have they punted, Mike?
Yes.
One punt. That's the job I want. Punter for the Saints.
At least he kicks off Morstead to stay busy. Cruz, the consecutive catch streak or completion streak continues. Shy of midfield.
The Giants, in the back of their mind, have to be wondering what it's like to play Aaron Rodgers next week.
That's right. Will Smith down for the Saints. So injury timeout at 9:06. With New Orleans up 25, they look at the former first rounder out of Ohio State. Next Monday night, Jacksonville. Chargers have lost 6 in a row. What has gone on there? They're taking on the Jaguars. Blaine Gabbert will start. That was announced by Jack Del Rio. He's replaced by Luke McCown. Good to be in North Florida next week. Golf at the TPC.
Thank you.
8:30 Eastern ESPN. After the run by Ware, here's Trey Wingo, SportsCenter right now.
Michael, thank you. Big news in college football. Urban Meyer, no surprise, new head coach at Ohio State, agreeing to a 6-year contract that could be worth as much as $26.6 million. Meanwhile, Peyton Manning, Eli's older brother, out indefinitely, scheduled to have another X-ray checkup on Wednesday. Back to you guys.
All right, Trey, there's the missed tackle as Ware takes it right near the first down mark. 16 consecutive completions for Eli Manning. That is a Giants franchise record and obviously the best of Eli's career.
And there's going to be a lot more high percentage completions against all this zone coverage. It's a lot different than you see the Saints play in a normal situation, but it's the right thing to do. 3rd and 1. Brandon Jacobs, the 266-pound tailback.
Toss to Jacobs to the right. And he dives forward for the first down at the 41-yard line. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers. The Packers await next week. The undefeated Packers go to MetLife Stadium, and then a lot of familiarity. 2 with the Cowboys, the Redskins, of course, the division game. Washington won the opener between those teams this year, and then Christmas Eve at home, but on the road. Of course, the Jets sharing the stadium. So the Giants lose this game. They fall to 6-5. Dallas a game ahead at 7-4. As Manning passes, continuing the completion streak on all these short things to Ramses Barden. Giants still have it in front of them, even if they lose that game to the Packers, and they're 6-6, and they're 2 games back. If Dallas wins next week, they've got 2 head-to-head with Dallas. So if they ran the table 10-6, they would win a tiebreaker with Dallas and win the division.
Mike, that's the optimist look. Have you seen this team play tonight? I mean, come on. They're not a playoff team. They're not a playoff contender.
Hey, I like
glass half
optimism.
full. I like that. I'm all for it.
I was gonna say,
this is not a playoff team here.
Who's going to win the NFC?
No, wait a minute.
Look at these Giants. I mean, they got to pick it up. You're right, though, Mike. They have the talent. They've shown they can win in New England.
That's what I was
They've
gonna say,
shown you
John.
some
That's
of
right.
the things they're capable of doing, but it's ridiculous the way they play defense tonight. And I know the Saints are as good as there is, but they just didn't show up as a defensive football team tonight. Last week they struggled on offense. They got to put both sides together and find a returner.
Like you said, they haven't done it for 3 weeks. Why would you feel optimistic that they could do it?
Those were optimistic people.
All right. I'll go with you on that, Johnny. Johnny positive. I'm with you.
Timeout taken by Sean Payton. That's certainly what Tom Coughlin and the Giants have to be selling here going forward. I mean, you think about that New England game wasn't that long ago, and they walk in there, a place where nobody wins regular season games up until the Giants doing it. And they beat Brady, Belichick, and the Patriots. And you think they're on a roll now. And, boy, you turn around and go out to San Francisco. You're in that game to the last drive against a one-loss team at that time. Lose. Let the Eagles go 18 plays on the last drive of the game. Lose to Philadelphia. And that must have had a demoralizing effect on this team, and it's built, and we're seeing the residue of all that here tonight.
Yeah, but the residue from last week's game was supposed to be an angry bunch of New York Giants today. We didn't see that. Yeah, they ran the ball a little better. Eli's been magnificent. But the defense, we opened the show talking about the key is going to be test your manhood, pressure from the defensive line. They haven't been around Drew Brees all night long.
So you're giving the division to the Cowboys.
I didn't say I'm not.
You said they can't, so I'm just saying.
I mean, I'll go with the Redskins. I don't know. No, I'm just thinking.
Eli incomplete after 19 in a row, and that's a defenseless receiver hit by Roman Harper, and a penalty marker comes.
Harper tried to hide. He knew probably going to get called there. The cover 2 safety coming over the top, and
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 41, half the distance to the goal, first down.
I wouldn't want to be a safety these days. I don't understand the rules anymore. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. But guys like Jack Tatum and George Atkinson, some of my old Raider friends, and Ronnie Lott, John Lynch, some of the big hitters that have played this game would struggle with these rules the way they're being interpreted.
You have to adapt. You have to adapt then, John. If they change the rules, you adapt to the rules that are now in place. You know, look at the health of some of those guys that played in that era. They're not real healthy right now.
The penalty wipes out the incompletion, so Manning's still sitting on 19 consecutive completions. And a quick toss, DJ Ware gets out of the 5 to the 4. Malcolm Jenkins comes up for the tackle.
All-out blitz.
Here they all come. Eli throws it to Victor Cruz as his second touchdown of the quarter. 22-23.
This Victor Cruz, it's a great job by Eli. He sees the blitz. He signals to a little slot combination, and I give Victor Cruz, second-year man out of Massachusetts. Watch him stick Porter inside, break to the corner. Ball's thrown perfectly.
Speaking of perfect throwing, John, how about this? Eli's second half, 20 for 20, 236 yards and a couple touchdowns.
Every time I see a Manning on Monday Night Football, I still have the holes in my chest to show you. These guys are something. Great job of competing by Eli in the offense. Not quitting. I like that.
I believe Peyton once had a 23 consecutive completion streak, and McNabb had the record for a while there at 24 completions in a row. Eli's completed his last 20. All right, Stuart, thank you. See you shortly on the GMC postgame coming up on SportsCenter. Giants have both kickers out there, try to keep Drew Brees off the field and recover an onside kick. Both Steve Weatherford, the punter, and Lawrence Tynes, the place kicker, are out. There's Brees' numbers, why you want to keep him off the field. 363, 4 touchdowns throwing, 1 rushing. And now the Giants decide to come to their right. And who else went up to get it? You got a rebound. I want the basketball player, Jimmy Graham, to go up and get it. And he does just that at the 42.
And Mark Ingram, the Heisman Trophy winner, comes out. Let's take a look at Jimmy Graham. I want to try that high point onside kick the other side, Jaws, huh?
Wow.
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham there.
There's one problem. You see who's on the other side?
Yeah.
Marcus Colston.
I know. Those two guys are very similar in size and skill, and they're both just quiet, unassuming, great guys.
Ingram runs. Greg Jones couldn't bring him down the first time around, and Linval Joseph puts a stop and throws him down.
Well, you better be ready for this Ingram, because he will blast you. He just took Corey Webster to the turf, and he's hungry. He's healthy now. He's had a heel injury. Great finisher, Mark Ingram.
And he'll get you those hard yards. He'll fight for every inch. Powerful, strong legs, low to the ground. There's 2, 3, 4 Giants trying to bring him down. No quit in Ingram.
Right back to Ingram to the right. Brees handing off. He has thrown for 363 tonight. It's the 27th time in his career he's over 350 yards, all but 2 of those with the Saints. That ties Dan Marino's NFL record for 350 and up in a game, and 6 times here in the same season, tying Tom Brady's record in the season that Brady entered the record book so often in 2007. So Drew Brees with more records to set here in this 2011 season.
And I thought that Marino single season passing yardage record would last for a long time. A couple years ago, Brees came within 15 yards of it. Final play of the game. The way he's playing right now, he's going to beat that record.
Saints running a 3rd down here, and they run to the left side, and it's a run by Darren Sproles. I apologize for a technical problem for the moment, as Sproles runs it just a yard shy of the 1st down as he was taken out of bounds by Antrel Roll. So 3:17 left. Saints leading 42-24. And the fans here want them to go for it. And they will keep the offense out on the field.
Remember, you've seen 3 different, very skilled and very different tailbacks. Here will be Ingram in a short yardage carry.
Ingram trying to get behind Jed Collins, his fullback, but could not get the 1st down, so it'll be Giants ball with 2:41 to go, and the Giants finally stop New Orleans.
Yeah, it looked like a good job from the backside, and you like to see the effort by the Giants, see if they can continue to finish the game with all they have.
Well, all great players and champions, and Eli Manning is a champion. They don't want to get records in losing efforts. Eli has an opportunity to do one in his hometown here. He's completed 20 consecutive passes. NFL single game record happened in the same year of 06. Mark Brunell and David Carr, who is now the backup for Eli here with the Giants. So he's 2 shy of the single game record. And then if he completes 3 or 4 more in a row, there's the multiple game record in NFL history that's potentially out there. There's 21 held on to as Patrick Robinson makes the tackle on DJ Ware.
Well, this is a prevent defense, 3-man rush. You've heard it before, and there's going to be plenty of these completions underneath. Eli can have the record if he wants it, although this time it looks like you're going to see some kind of blitz.
2nd and 5, they bring 5, and the pass is incomplete. Victor Cruz did not respond to it, and Eli comes up one shy of the record that Mark Brunell and David Carr set in 2006.
That's what usually happens to Tirico when he starts talking about records. Remember, we had a guy that hadn't fumbled in 786 carries. As soon as you bring it up, and there's a fumble, and Eli Manning's going to break a record. You had to bring it up. I mean, we knew he had the streak going, Mike. Just leave it alone. You're the jinx.
You blame me for Victor Cruz not reading the hot. That's terrific. Thanks, John. You fine coaching.
It's how John coaches, you know. Someone else's fault.
3rd and 5. And this Manning pass deflected up there at the line, incomplete. We'll have 4th down, a very disappointing return back home for Eli Manning. It wasn't about doing anything but getting back to the hotel and room service. It wasn't like Eli was going out last night and doing things with family. Very much a business trip. He did say he got to order some gumbo from room service, but
the guy's a pro, Mike. He is a pro, but he can't do it all himself.
Hey, his longtime offensive lineman, the guard Chris Snee, said, no doubt, best year he's had.
Yep.
And Chris has been there for all of Eli's career. Came in the same draft class in 04. 4th and 5, putting one up. Nix cut across. It's incomplete, and the Saints defense with 2:03 left turn the Giants back over.
Well, you got to be honest, a lot of those completions against the prevent defense, that time Greg Williams, maybe he wanted to stop the streak because he came with 3 consecutive blitzes.
Greg.
I don't know, Mike.
Not Greg, come on.
Hadn't called a blitz in 7 straight plays. He's probably had the shakes down there.
Sean Payton on the sideline with those crutches for 2 wins now. They beat Atlanta at the bye week. We'll see them back here the night after Christmas against the Falcons, a game that could be important for seeds, for the wild card hopes, and perhaps the division. Atlanta only a game behind the Saints when all is said and done here. Jason Pierre-Paul brings down Mark Ingram, brings us inside the 2-minute warning. Buck 57 left. Well, Dan Marino's mark, 27 years, 5,084 yards. Drew Brees came very close to it back in 2008, 15 yards shy. Well, here are the passing yard numbers up to date. Brees going past Tom Brady with his good performance yesterday against the Eagles and Aaron Rodgers. What are these guys on pace for with 5 games left? Well, numbers that will challenge the Marino number. Brees and Brady would break it easily. Rodgers be within 29 yards. And again, outdoor games for these players. Who knows if games 15 and 16 on their schedules will matter for them. A lot to factor in, but those records are out there. And Drew Brees said, as opposed to 2008, we want to break that record this year. We want to be a part of that history on the way to a successful season.
Yeah, I love the way he explained that, Mike. He talked about it being a team record. Yeah, it'll look like an individual record, but it'll really signify the quality of offensive talent that they have all across the board, offensive line, tight ends, receivers, and running back. So he's accepting the challenge to break Dan Marino's record. But how about Aaron Rodgers? He's probably going to get upset that he's falling behind a little bit right now. He might get it going.
3rd and 5 with a minute and a half to go. Rodgers and Brees, 2 extraordinary seasons.
These crutches that Sean Payton's wearing, I've never seen those things.
They are very comfortable looking crutches. They different from most. Vintage Saints, a very high-tech organization. Flip to Ingram. With the first down and more. There's Ingram scoring against the team his dad starred for.
You got all these receivers, all these passing stats, and you forget they have 3 great backs. And Mark Ingram, another one of Mickey Loomis, the general manager's draft choices. They fake the fullback to the right. They flip it to the left. Bushrod makes a great block, and Mark Ingram, he's a heck of a player. They're loaded here.
The old 90 flip. Work to perfection.
You mentioned Mark's dad still in jail. There's Sean. With the
Look at that
crutch-
touchdown
the crutch
sign.
touchdown
That's
signal.
a big touchdown.
Mark's dad often able to watch Mark's games. He says he's been able to watch most of them this year, so don't know if he's still watching that touchdown, 49-24 victory. I mentioned Mark Ingram Jr. was the 28th pick of the draft. So was his dad, that exact very number, 28.
New York Giants. New York Giants, the last selection on the first round, take wide receiver Mark Ingram from Michigan State.
Pete Rozelle made that announcement, the 2018 league back in 1987, and Ingram had those first part of his decade-long career with the Giants. This memorable play in Super Bowl 25. Giants fans have seen it. Mark Jr. telling us he remembers that play. He was too young to remember the play, but he remembers it's coming up every time they show that Super Bowl around Super Bowl week. Mark's dad currently serving time, federal prison, Beaumont, Texas, money laundering and fraud. Couldn't be there the night he won the Heisman 2 years ago. Mark said he's got his ballot ready to get in. The Heisman handed out a dozen nights from tonight on ESPN. He was the first Alabama Crimson Tide player to win the Heisman, and the running back at Alabama may follow suit. Trent Richardson, right near the top of our ESPN poll, the Heismanology poll.
I don't have a vote, but I like Andrew Luck myself.
Way to go on a limb, Ron.
Matt Barkley will certainly get some attention after his strong performance to close the season. We'll see who earns the invites to New York next week. And then the trophy in 12 days. A return by Darrell Scott to the 15-yard line. You see the guys, Rick Riley, Steve Young, Trent Dilfer getting in position there for the GMC postgame coming up on SportsCenter. Undoubtedly talk to Breeze and the Saints on this night. You know, the Giants have been around for a long time, and this is the second highest yardage total given up by a Giants team.
And they'll be waiting on the Detroit Lions. Hopefully, Ndamukong Suh's situation sorts itself out. They'll need him. That's for sure.
The 1943 Giants gave up 682 yards, 577 here tonight. There's a game with Sid Luckman, threw 7 touchdowns. Bears, Devin Thomas taking it to the 28-yard line. Former Washington Redskins second-round pick. Thomas went to Huron High School in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and went to Michigan State after that.
I don't get it. Just
Eli
keep
Manning
throwing the
over
ball.
400 yards tonight.
Yeah, but John, this game's over with. You know, get on the plane and go home. Don't get somebody hurt.
406, that pass incomplete.
Speaking of hurt,
John has done the entire, for those of you who can't see us, John has done the entire fourth quarter on his crutches.
Well, I went down to see what Peyton had. Anything he has, I'm getting. I'm wearing I'm wearing a visor. I'm wearing these crutches. These crutches, they have shock absorbers in them. That's why maybe he's calling such good plays. Look at him. You can hit signal first down. I can hit you with them. I mean, touchdown. I can knock out both you guys.
Look, it has helped Sean Payton's performance. It has maybe helped you. It has helped you a bit. You've been particularly bad on those crutches here in the fourth quarter. Hard run by DJ Ware at the first down. Time to go home. Time to go to SportsCenter. There's this one for you. Sean goes over to see Tom Coughlin. Drew Brees had a night that no other player in NFL history has had. One game, 4 touchdowns, no picks, over 350 yards, 60% completions, and a rushing touchdown. No quarterback's done that in NFL history until Drew Brees here on Monday Night Football. The Saints are 8-3. Detroit coming down here Sunday night. The G-Men are 6-5. The undefeated Packers heading to the Meadowlands next Sunday night. Late afternoon, 4:15. Ron Jaworski, John Gruden, Wendy Nix, our great Monday Night Football team, Mike Tirico saying good night from New Orleans. See you next week from Jacksonville. And here's SportsCenter.